You blocked me on Facebook, and now you're going to die.
Yes, that is a special tribute to Hana Kimura. May she rest in peace. Welcome to episode 58 of the Red Leaf Retrocast, Wrestling Podcast Edition. I'm your host as usual, JD, and it's been quite a rough podcast week. Rough week in general in the wrestling world. I don't want to dwell on the sadness that has befallen, especially if you're a fan of the Joshi wrestling world. This has definitely been hard for all of us, and I want to dedicate this podcast episode as a tribute to one of, I think, my favorite wrestlers in the past couple of years, especially with Hana Kimura's rise in the industry, not to mention the expected retirement of Arisa Hoshiki due to neck and head issues. I don't quite recall why she retired before. It might have been a similar issue, but I want to, again, dedicate this as a tribute episode to Hana Kimura. Just be a little bit more kind on the internet, guys. It's pretty easy to be a keyboard warrior, a modern day armchair activist, if you will. Just be a little bit nicer. There's no reason to resort to just hate in the world. It's fun. It's fun to make fun of things, but if there's no sense in it all. So let's try to have fun for the rest of the podcast. Let's have fun in the wrestling world. Let's remember why we watch wrestling, why Hana Kimura meant so much to a lot of us, especially if you're a listener to this podcast. I fully expect you to be very much in the well-know of what had happened. I've had a lot of listeners reach out to me on what happened, what H2S is, and maybe there was a chance that it could have been prevented, but if something hits you that hard, know how it's going to impact those you leave behind and those close to you. So don't take it upon yourself to think that you are worthless. So yeah, I'm going to replay the drop one more time in remembrance, and we can get through the intro as soon as I collect my thoughts here.
You blocked me on Facebook, and now you're going to die.
Alright, fresh start. I have finally finished this insane amount of wrestling I wanted to watch for this podcast episode, and I even have a special drink for the remainder of this episode as I go solo. As the week in wrestling has been, and as my work week has been, I have decided to go to the alcoholic beverage store and procure 12 Trulies and 12 White Claws of various flavors. And currently, for this podcast, I am going to try out a flavor I've never had before. It is the White Claw Ruby Grapefruit flavor. I've already had the Truly Passion Fruit, which is a big hit. Never had that before, so let's try this. Let's try this sucker out. Oh, that is lovely. Oh, that is a big thumbs up. Not usually a hard seltzer guy. I'm usually, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm a Scotch bourbon or beer guy. But want a little something fruity? Want a little something to pick my spirits up? I don't know if that's gonna last the fucking 3 hours this fucker might go. Intro. Okay, so got some Lucha Libre I'm gonna talk about. I haven't done that a lot in 2020, but god damn, I've been looking forward to talking about that one. AEW, we got 2 episodes of Dynamite, the Go Home show to Double or Nothing with the mom, and then the post, and then the Fallout show with the whole Mike Tyson thing. It's just absolutely nuts. Did a special difference thing for AEW. So there's an hour of it of previewing Double or Nothing, where we think all those stories are going, where they're heading, how we feel, and then that will transition into a kind of quick thoughts review over Double or Nothing. I've had some ideas of how I want to tackle Double or Nothing, and I think I'm going to go in the route of highly critical of it. Too much positivity with AEW lately, but I will have some positive thoughts. But I'm going to try to really think of how to critique AEW more. Follow that up with Ice Ribbon. They're continuing their Juku title tournament. That is 1041, 1042. DDT continues their TV shows, getting ready for the Peter Pan show that they did announce that's going to happen in June here. So TV episodes 3 and 4. Recording this before the weekend where episode 5 comes out. Dragon Gate went on with their King of Gate tournament. I was very much looking forward to that. Short thoughts over nights 1 through 6. So that's basically the entire first round and the entire second round. And then that'll go into the big retro stuff. Huge there. Got All Japan Women Classics episode 21. New Japan through the 90s. That continues treading forth. I believe I accidentally said in the previous episode that I just misspoke and said 92 instead of 91, how I finished. We are doing the Tokyo Dome 1992 show. Fuck yeah to that. That was that was great. And the Go Home show of Nitro before War Games 1998. We were at November 16th, 1998. A very important show in the wrestling world in the retro aspect. So I hope everyone enjoys this episode. It definitely means a lot. I'm going to try to stay mentally strong and positive, except AEW. Those bastards have it coming. So here we go. Super Lucha Libre. I was in a Lucha Libre mood, and in 2020, haven't come across a whole lot of Lucha that has stood out to me. 2019 definitely had a lot more for me. But in 2020, there was a match that took place, and I watched, I ended up watching this whole thing. It is from their March 1st show in AAA. It was a 2 out of 3 falls mask versus mask match. And the why this is important is it's like, oh, hair matches, mask matches, they happen all the time in Mexico. But every once in a while, one crops up where it's like a bloodbath. It's super meaningful. The Wagner, I think it was Blue Demon Junior match. That was nonsense last year. This one is the 20th anniversary of the famous mask versus mask match, Atlantis versus Villano 3. If you haven't seen that or read up on it, very famous mask match where if I remember correctly, Villano finally got his upcomings after ripping multiple tens of masks from people, and he finally got his just dues in, I believe, Juarez. Ooh. But anyways, I did watch a little bit of that match to kind of gauge the history of it. So here we are, facing a building rivalry since 2018, which has been kind of in the back burner. I did have to revisit some of the old promos that were cut, but it's Villano 3 Jr. versus Aereo. Lucha de Apuestas. The stage is set for all this was the Jose Neri Santos Arena, which is like a dump with bleachers. But it's Aereo's home and the Ciudad Juarez Sports Cathedral. So what made this match so special? Well, the story here went into each fall of the match. Usually in Lucha Libre, I mean, there's 2 out of 3 falls matches left and right. And the first 2 usually don't mean much, and it just gets to that third fall, whether it's a Cavernario, whomever. I watch a lot of Cavernario 2 out of 3 falls matches, where it's like quick submission, then it's into the third fall, it's lightning round style. Fall 1 here was all about getting the mental edge over their opponent for a decisive victory, rather than the usual, which I just spoke of. It's a quick counter for the 2 falls, and, so Aereo here went a step further with the first fall. He used the Atlantida to make Villano 3 Jr. tap out. Yes, Villano had submitted here with the same hold that vanquished his dad. And Aereo even did the big... So basically it's a torture rack submission, but Aereo even did the whole kneel down on it, and it really put a big psychological impact on the match. Where you would benefit from this, it's not just a spectacle of it all. It only adds when you know the history and what they're fighting for. So then you can it elevates the match to knowing that psychology, right? So yes, the humiliated Villano's dynasty has come back full fold right in front of the sun, right? With that, the match immediately became personal. And they didn't waste any time. Fall 2 was where Villano 3 Jr. had to somehow come back. But how was the question? Well, he had to start using his devilish wit, the heel tactics, if you will. He made a bad landing, clutches the leg, ref begs off, Aereo just killing the momentum and groove, right? Bang strikes the heel. Classic, right? And we'll get to the MJF Jungle Boy match later, where it's very much a similar thing. Then we get homage number 2 in the match. Things get bad for Aereo when Villano 3 Jr. hits him with a tope suicida, where both heads collide. And we get that sweet, sweet juice because it's become personal. Sound familiar? Well, the exact same thing happened during Atlantis versus Villano 3. After some doctor checkups, Villano gets Aereo into the ring, hits the package pile driver and the super senton to win Fall 2. So yes, excellent storytelling here so far. The third and final fall was all about the escalation of the match, because now you have both guys have succeeded in getting into each other's heads with each fall, right? What would it take to put the other away and keep your dignity in the match? At no cost will one lose easily. You got your rope walks, dive from a fucking towered scaffolding, and yes, let's mention Ray Scorpion ringside. Okay? This is very important. Each guy has their seconds outside. It's a very important match. Lucha de Apuestas. Everyone's got their friends outside, right? The ever so cliche X Factor is the second. It's a very old school booking crutch, but doesn't have to be a crutch. You got to use these guys sparingly and important. It's always the question, will they stay on as an onlooker? Will he interfere? For whom? But yes, it went on. Counter wrestling on full display here. I love counter wrestling. These guys just hit it out of the park. It's a little rough because Villano 3 is like 21 years old, so take that for what it's worth. But for 21, hey, This dude nailed it. They even did a headstand, slapping each other in the face. It was pretty sick. So this third fall had all the drama any wrestling fan could ask for. As Aereo makes a pile of chairs, hoping to put Villano away from good, the nail in the coffin, if you will, he hesitates to jump. And it's very, like, he looks backwards, then he goes to the top. He doesn't jump right away, which he's been doing all match. And this proved to be his demise. As all it took, Villano moves, fucking Aereo crashes and burns. I don't know how he doesn't die. Because it's just a cement fucking floor on the outside. The count is going on during all this. Villano slides into the ring. Because he's just gotten the shit kicked out of him on the outside, right? And just as Aereo was going to beat the count, as does every wrestler on the planet, Mr. Scorpion on the outside yanks him back as the ref counts him out. Oh my god. Right? The crowd is totally aghast at what just happened, right? I'm shocked myself. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then it hit me. Oh my god. Villano. Villain. Fuck honor. He's a goddamn villain. He righted a wrong in his own family where his dad lost his mask all those years ago. This dude's gonna... Why wouldn't he have his second just pull this fucker out? Right? Lived up to the family name villain. He takes that fucking mask. He berates the crowd. So proud of his accomplishment, and he didn't do it by himself. Thanks his deceased father from above as the hometown man had to unmask and reveal his identity. Oh my god, what a story. This is no doubt in my mind a 5-star match. Might be the best Lucha match I have seen in at least 15 years. There's just so much to this. I've watched it twice, and it's an hour long in total, right? So it's absolutely crazy. It gets a high recommendation for me. It's easily one of my matches of the year so far. It's right up there with the Ospreay-Zack Sabre Jr. match in England. It's up there with Naito Okada, Wrestle Kingdom. It's up there with the Revolution Tag Team match from AEW. So I got one from like every country at this point. It's fantastic. Big recommendation from me. And moving on to May 2nd, broadcast date of Lucha Fighter Tournament, also from AAA. A short, quick little tournament with some big matchups that happened. It's very easy to watch. It's empty arena. My favorite match was easily the Vikingo versus Pentagon match. It was in the quarterfinals. It only went 9:44. One of the longer matches, surprisingly. Vikingo is a next-level luchador with his use of the ropes, control of his flips. It all comes across very easily. He's got a great little gimmick to him. Pentagon, he's Pentagon. He simply overpowers him. Does his crazy charisma towards the camera all the time. Counters his dives, including countering Vikingo's inverted 450. Breaks the arm, package pile driver to win. Simple, easy watch. I do recommend this one if you want a little lucha match in. And with that, moving right along, I'll take us into AEW, probably the next hour 45, I would imagine. So skip along there, and when we return, it'll be time to talk Ice Ribbon.
Join the Dark Order.
Hey, Mom, we're back for more AEW for this latest Retrocast episode. Excited?
Excited. Did you hear that clapping?
It's very weak.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. So we're getting this episode recorded. A lot of good feedback from our kind of pause in between episodes from recording Dynamite kind of weekly. We're doing this before Double or Nothing. It's the latest AEW Dynamite, May 20th. Dynamite number 33.
Exciting. It's going to be some good stuff.
Yeah. We purchased the pay-per-view on Fight TV as we did last time.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very excited. We're going to do this one a little bit differently, though, because now we're tasked with predicting Double or Nothing and our thoughts of kind of what the future may lie ahead in for the various AEW stars, wrestlers, however you want to call them.
Okay.
Yeah. The other aspect is... Oh, you know what? Let's just get into this. I got no notes over Dark this time. I heard Phoenix had another good match. Marco Stunt got a win on Dark. That's notable. He's not winless anymore in singles action. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I want to know your overall thoughts, your big takeaway from the go-home show before Double or Nothing, and your biggest negative on the show, because my quick thought was it was
negative?
a show... Excuse me?
Negative? What would be negative?
I could have negatives. I mean, my big takeaway from the show was it was a decent go-home show, but it was the show of unlucky circumstances and situations.
Yes, it was that some unfortunate, and it was mayhem, and that's why there was a lot of misses, because it was total mayhem, because they were doing all, a lot of getting everybody out there. This is what's going on, building it up, and unfortunately, doing so could cost wrestlers injuries.
Injuries happen,
Injuries do happen, but normally a lot of times you would hold your people a little back because you want them primed for the main event, Double or Nothing.
The only injury I think that could have been preventable was the Phoenix one, in which we saw him do the big short jump and land on his back and hip. A lot of ring rust. You could definitely see these wrestlers are trying to come back into form. So them all trying to get reps out there.
Ring rust.
Yes.
Good analogy.
Well, that is a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ring rust.
But what I think AEW did quite well on this show is there was a segment dedicated to at least giving you some sort of hype and indication of the match that's going to be taking place on the pay-per-view. Every single segment or match on the show had importance to Double or Nothing, and I thought that was good. I don't get that a lot with don't get a lot of the detail with a lot of other promotions out there. So I thought they did a good job on that. Do I think some things could have been handled better? Maybe some things were missing? Yeah, absolutely. That's my thought on it before we get into the show as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So the show started with the Dark Order coming out. Brody Lee, Mr. Brody Lee. I'm so sorry. We did start out with the Dark Order music.
Whatever.
He came out with his minions and Ten, his new right-hand man, since Evil Uno and Grayson are stuck in Canada due to the coronavirus. So Ten...
Who's stuck in Canada?
The Dark Order tag team. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
Oh.
Yeah. They are Canadian, so therefore they are stuck in Canada.
Hey?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So Mr. Brody Lee declared 10 a high knight of the Dark Order, so officially marking him a right-hand man. And he told him to go hunt for Moxley. Kind of a slow prodding promo as he's more accustomed to now. I'm not sure how I feel about the delivery. Shivani did say, "Okay, I was right. This is a cult." I really laughed at that line.
Right.
That was good.
That was hysterical. I thought that was pretty funny.
And then just right fast, Jon Moxley defeats 10. Post-match, Moxley wants his title back. Yeah, I mean, it was the right decision. Moxley wants his title back. He threatens to Pillmanize 10's arm with a chair. And Mr. Brody Lee just says, "You know what? Sacrifices must be made."
Yeah.
And
why not?
You know, yes, that's exactly what should happen. That fits characters, and Moxley, takes him out. He's like, so be it. I'll see you on Saturday.
Right.
So predict the AEW.
Oh, yeah. And all Moxley had to do was ask for the belt back. And you know where that came from.
Well, it came from the previous week, right? Or 2 weeks ago.
Because Moxley said all you had to do was ask.
Yeah, so it was a nice little quip back. I like that. So predict the AEW title match, Moxley versus Brody Lee, Double or Nothing. It's expected to not be the main event, but maybe the semi-main or the one right before the TNT title match. I think it's safe to assume at this point now the Stadium Stampede match is going to be the main event.
Yeah. I agree.
So my question to you...
So we don't know the exact lineup of when everything is going to happen? We don't know that yet?
I mean, we can kind of guess the card. It's not like I'm watching WCW World War III where I try to predict the card and I'm completely inaccurate on even matches that are on it. So, I think it's safe to assume that they're going to start with a hot match. That's very AEW-esque of them.
Yeah.
Best Friends and Private Party are going to do the little buy-in show, number one contender tag match. Any prediction on that one? I have the Best Friends going over.
Wait a minute. What? You're going two places.
I know, Right fast. Best Friends or Private Party?
Best Friends or Private Party? I'm going to say Private Party.
Okay, that's fine. It's a beginning match. It doesn't really matter. Either way, It's just supposed to get us hyped up for the show. But yes, back to Moxley, Brody Lee. I'm sorry, Mr. Brody Lee. I really have to get it into my head.
Jesus. Mr. Brody frickin' Lee. Whatever.
What's your prediction, Mother?
Of what?
The title.
Moxley, Brody Lee?
Yes.
Moxley's going to kick the shit out of Brody Lee. So bad that Brody Lee won't know what hit him, other than Moxley beating the shit out of him.
Okay, I will follow up then. Since you are convinced Mr. Brody Lee is going to lose, what would be the future that lies for him and the Dark Order?
I think he should become a minion. And Moxley will be in charge of the Dark Order.
I think that would be a stipulation maybe later, but that could be something conceivable then.
Right? It couldn't
Well,
it?
Mr. Brody Lee then would want to prove himself to his minions, and the story could be Moxley then just wants to dismantle or take over the Order, just kind of trying to get rid of the guy, right? That could lead to a story further down the line. I think there's a number of ways they could go with this, and I posed this question out on Twitter at BowlingJD. Do we conceivably see Moxley losing the title and then Brody Lee losing on Wednesday to the Casino Ladder match winner? What do you think?
No.
No, not at all?
No. And he's not even in the ladder match.
No, but the winner of the ladder match cashes in their little chip they get, and they have a match on Wednesday. Because I believe it was said on the show that the ladder match winner is going to challenge whomever holds the AEW title next Wednesday on Dynamite. I believe that was said on the show. Otherwise, I'm going crazy, and that's just in my head.
Well, that's a possibility.
Well,
it could be a probability.
because
I don't see here's what I have a problem with because of him. If he were to lose the title, he really hasn't had a chance to defend his title because of all that's gone on for the past few months with all of this. So the challenge hasn't really been available. And I think for him to lose it against Brody Lee, the asshole, so early in the game, because it is early, I just don't. I think that Moxley needs to keep it for a while.
I'm in agreement. I'm in a lot of agreement with that.
I think Brody Lee, he's too new, and he definitely doesn't deserve a freaking title. He's an asshole, totally. Moxley's an asshole, but not that kind of an asshole. Moxley's a good asshole.
Right. Well, the reason I posed the question is this was the only conceivable way I could see Brody winning is if he loses the title then on Wednesday to that winner. And I say that because I think there's a larger story being told here of Brody. He's getting the shot to prove himself, right? That's the whole idea. He took advantage of everyone else being busy. We discussed this on the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
And him losing to Moxley, as you said, Moxley hasn't really had the chance to be the champion that he should be, right?
Right.
Due to, the time frame he was away, he hasn't really had much of a challenge outside Hager,
right.
Which was...
Don't we call that ring rust? Or whatever, wrestle rust? What did you call it?
Ring rust.
Ring rust.
Yes. So Moxley getting another defense is good, and they can further tell a larger story with Mr. Brody Lee, the Dark Order. Maybe the Dark Order starts to distrust him, and he has to gain back their trust, and they start finally winning, and then they start trusting him again, and all that. Maybe they start cutting fat. There's a number of ways that they could...
Yeah.
I think him losing tells a better story and a larger long-term story.
The thing I have a problem with Brody Lee, he really hasn't competed against anybody worth competing against.
No, his single match against Christopher Daniels isn't enough to
justify.
Yeah, to justify his title match that he's getting.
Yeah.
To be fair, for AEW's point, he is in the top 5 rankings. He is at the top. That's not currently going for the TNT title. So at least they can do the little sports aspect to justify him being there and taking advantage of his spot. That's kind of part of the story as well. He took advantage of his spot and everyone else being busy. But yes, like I said, I'm in agreement. Moxley's going to win. Be the champion, more time to be the champion. I don't think he's technically lost steam. That's just more of wrestling in of itself right now, more than him.
Right.
Because really it doesn't truly matter who's champion. Because you just can't conceivably gauge whom is doing better than another. It's all a guessing game.
Right, just like Nyla Rose, she's had that, but she, when has she really had to defend it?
Right.
She really hasn't.
So
we'll
get to her later.
Both of those competitors and anybody who's had the title haven't had it for very long or haven't had to defend it because of all the shit that's happened. Starting February. Let's go to February. It was shit hit the fan. So, it's going to be a while to get back into that defense worthy of getting back.
Yes.
So,
you
got to give it some time.
Yeah. We both agree that Mr. Brody Lee getting this opportunity probably too soon, not enough time to establish a character. But I think him getting this opportunity, getting a loss here, will do wonders for character development and a larger story being told. So I'm very curious, not so much in the match itself, but the fallout of the match, which is fine.
Yeah.
MJF defeats Marco Stunt. He was a magnificent bully in this match. Making Marco Stunt pick his nose and eat it was hysterical. Makes you really hate this guy.
Not wrestling. That's okay. I'm gonna make you pick your nose and be a winner.
Yeah, he's a bully.
Picker, winner, picker.
Yeah, so just write fast and predict the MJF versus Jungle Boy match, titled the Snapshot of the Future match.
Jungle Boy.
You have Jungle Boy winning. Why?
Because MJF is a loser. I see Jungle Boy as he's going to be building up to something too. And I don't think MJF would be worthy of a win at this particular point.
You know, I was thinking about this match a lot today, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I am leaning towards Jungle Boy as well, and I'll tell you why. MJF has his big credible victory. He beat Cody at the previous pay-per-view, right?
Yep.
So he's established, and I get the feeling under the current environment circumstances, as I'll play it out as, he's biding his time, right? They don't want to rush him into a moment in front of no crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can actually use this match as a way for Jungle Boy to get his first big credible win, singles win, right? On pay-per-view, as well as MJF losing. He is such a magnificent heel, he could play into this and play into a big character role and continue a feud with Jungle Boy, which we could see many years into the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I could conceivably see Jungle Boy, and I do see Jungle Boy winning this match to elevate him and play into a bigger story with MJF, his first loss, technically, in AEW. So, yes, I agree. Jungle Boy, I think, is going to win as well. That's going to be your big, kind of shocking match win. Arn Anderson versus Jake Roberts promo battle on behalf of Cody versus Archer, the TNT title, in which Mike Tyson will present the TNT title at Double or Nothing.
Now do realize that Mike Tyson has free reign of being anywhere at any time during the entire match.
Yes, that was the big phrase I took away from this as well. Not that it was assumed he was just going to present the title and leave. However, it is nice that they said this out loud, because now it puts into your head, Mike Tyson's going to do something.
Mike Tyson is definitely going to do something, because I don't know where I read it.
Well, he's going to bite the neck tattoo off of Cody, obviously.
Because they built up that, he's looking good. He's ready to do some getting in the ring, So I see Mike Tyson as being utilized more than just this one time into the ring of wrestling.
I mean, it's kind of ironic that AEW's now in a war with WWE in a lot of ways, and they got Mike Tyson, the guy who turned the tides of war for WWF against WCW in the late 90s. It's kind of funny. But yes, I like this Mike Tyson edition. It adds a wild card factor to this big match. I still think this match should be the main event. But since the Stadium Stampede is going to be what it is, this has to be the match before the Stadium Stampede match. I think it needs to be the co-main event of the main show. That's my take. If it's the AEW title, that won't upset me because it's the AEW title. I think this is the bigger built match, the bigger draw. So yes, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts got into each other's heads. Battle Awards, they're old, so they weren't, they're not on their A game that they were in the 80s, so to say. But they did say some fighting words. Jake Roberts called Arn Anderson thick, so using some 2020 words there, that was kind of funny. Arn Anderson tells him, you can hook us up to the train at any time. That's called being credible. So it's very much his words, not say from a script. And Jake Roberts gets mad, and then the refs come out and kind of do a nice little no, you old men, no duking it out here.
I think they were afraid that they might hurt each other. Because the way that Jake Roberts was trying to get Giovanni in the middle of everything and then throwing him off to the side. He's like, oh shit, what did I do? Oh God, I got to get out of here.
Oops.
That's hysterical.
Well, the visual of it was really funny. These two old men are going to fight each other, and then you get the double visual of all the refs coming out, and these old men are towering over them.
It was great. It was a great visual. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize Roberts was that huge, because, standing up to Lance Archer, he's a huge guy anyways. And, when the two are standing next to each other, they balance,
Right.
You don't sense the difference in size. But then when you had the refs come out up against and trying to hold back these two old men, they're towers. You're going, geez, I didn't realize Jake was that tall. That was a good little segment, though. That was good.
Yeah, I quite liked it. It got, I don't have the biggest nostalgia for Arn Anderson specifically.
No. He was, what was he, back in the, I guess he would be...
He was NWA 80s, early WCW. Arn Anderson was with Ric Flair in the NWA WCW days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 70s.
No, 80s.
80s?
80s and early 90s, yeah.
Okay.
My question is, do you think we should have at least heard something from Cody? Some type of promo?
No.
Why not?
No, because he did it last week. He did his spiel last week against Archer.
With the brouhaha.
Yeah. And so so you first had the wrestlers, that was last week. Now you have the two coaches and having their little thing.
I think Cody could have said something on the mic last week, and then this would have, then yes, that nothing needed to be said this week. But because nothing was said after the brawl last week, because all it would take was a quick little you touch my wife, I'm gonna get you. That title means everything to me. I mean, Arn Anderson did say those. Yeah, he did say on behalf of Cody, this is what it means to him.
Cody said it last week that it meant everything to him. He already said that.
He has said it a couple times. Maybe another reiteration. I don't recall it last week.
He did. Yeah. He said it means everything to me. That was one of the things. Oh, you mean yelling it out loud? No, that was one of his promo shots of him saying that. Anyway,
I mean, there was a pre-show thing he did. Anyways, so predict the TNT title match and what could lie ahead in either scenario. I still have Cody winning, and that will lead to a Darby Allin chase to beat Cody. I think that's the bigger story. If Archer wins, I don't know what the plan is, who's up next for Archer. They could do really anything they want, so that in that aspect, that leads leads more open.
Yeah, Archer is like a Brody Lee. There's still more to build for them. Mm-hmm. So I don't see anything yet out of Archer. So unfortunately, I wish he would win, but I don't think he will. Let's give it to Cody, the loser, so we can say he won something, because he won't be able to get the title and all that shit. So Cody, yes, will win. Mr. Loser will win.
Yeah, my last thought with Cody winning, just because he wins this match doesn't mean it's over with Archer, right? The whole story.
Correct.
Because this is a
absolutely.
straight title match. There's no reason they can't go to this again just because this one match someone lost, right?
Right. And the thing is this is a new title, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. So, why not give it to Cody? Give it to Cody to make him feel like he's a winner, not a loser, like he really is. I didn't want to give it to him, but fine, I'll give it to him.
Right. Since we watch AEW Dynamite on Fight TV with their little AEW Plus subscription, we ran into a lot of audio issues on this night, especially at the beginning of the show. It was very hard to hear anything, a lot of buffering. It was kind of a bummer on the night as a whole. I got to rewatch all the things that messed up later, so it was all fixed later.
I ended up rewatching the whole thing again.
You like what? You like double down on the Dynamite.
Well, I have to because you talk too much during the play, during the matches, and I can't focus.
Yeah, okay.
You mess me up. Oh my God! I didn't even have the Cody and Archer on my list.
Oh.
Where the hell is that? Oh, no. Huh.
Well, anyways, Darby Allin had another cool little video, very much him. He's playing poker amongst a lot of people wearing the masks of his various opponents in the casino ladder match, and it shows a nice little thing of him burning a ladder down with a dude on it, symbolizing he will do anything it takes to win situation.
Anything.
No Taz this week, along with only this Darby appearance, so I'm really liking the Darby character. I'm really liking the putting Darby down aspect to build him back up, since obviously the plan wasn't for him to win the TNT title, but to lose to Cody to tell a larger story. I'm very okay with that, as long as it all makes sense in the end, and they have a direction for him. And that'll transition into the Rey Fenix Orange Cassidy match. Rey Fenix wins via a distraction from Kip Sabian. Very good match. This is my match of the night, is Rey Fenix Orange Cassidy. Kip Sabian distraction
Mine
hour.
Too.
Hey, we agree. Kip Sabian distraction hour. He goes full Dick Lifeguard for his little moment. He's so proud of himself. He gives a weak thumbs up and transitions into a middle finger. I really laughed at that. SCU tips him off the ladder, and it was off to the races. Phoenix short jumps, spring senton all the way to the floor. Seems to be okay and good to go for this Saturday, because he's Phoenix. He's a crazy guy. Cassidy even gets tossed over the group that was supposed to catch him. He crashes into the guardrail. That was wild.
Right.
So it's just like one thing after another on this show. Everything comes in threes situation, so that's two right there, right?
Right.
But Cassidy seemed totally fine, but Phoenix was the one that got the worst of it. It was all to build up the
that hurt me to watch it again. I was like, oh God.
Very painful.
Yeah.
But all this was to build up to the casino ladder match. 9 people, Royal Rumble rules. Winner can, depending on your luck, that is the gimmick here. Anybody could win at any time as long as you enter. So there's the advantage to be in first and second, and then there's the advantage to be in ninth. The winner gets to cash in the chip against the AEW champion. Again, I think that commentary said the winner is going to cash in on Wednesday's Dynamite for a title match. And they also built up a AEW Battle Royal. The winner gets a TNT title match for June 3rd in 2 weeks. So that's cool. So now my question, Mother, is predict the casino ladder match and who the 9th mystery entrant could be.
Pac.
even though the coronavirus is still affecting international travel? Because we did get a Pac video on this, so it's very possible he got into the country.
Right. Well, I hope it's Pac. That'd be awesome. It's either that or it could be Havoc.
Jimmy Havoc. Interesting. Hardcore is his specialty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if both members, or 2 out of 3 of the members of SCU weren't in this match, I'd be a little bit more hesitant to guess another faction member in it. But hey, there's no reason competition can't be within friendly circumstances, right? I think Pac is a very good guess, assuming he can get into the country.
Right.
And if that's the case, he would be my favorite to win. I am still leaning towards...
It might very well be that he's not out of the country.
I think if he was available, they would have been using him.
How do you know?
Well,
Where's Paige been? Where's Paige been the whole time?
You're absolutely right. There is that.
Mm-hmm. So, surprise.
Very possible.
But that's my guess. Pac, or if it's not Pac, then I say Havoc. Because you got Sabian in that.
Havoc was involved in that brouhaha in the match. That is good. I think that obviously sets up an SCU Havoc Sabian tag match for next week. I think at the very least we'll get that. But yeah, look at you using your noodle. If it's not the mystery,
must be my first day off.
I mean, I either see the mystery guy winning or Scorpio Sky.
No!
I say Scorpio Sky because of his few big promo segments during the Georgia shows. He wants to be a legend. He wants to be more than, just a member of SCU. There's a big story he wants to tell. I'm still leaning towards he's a TNT title guy rather than an AEW title guy. So my prediction is definitely the mystery guy winning. My second would be Scorpio Sky. I think with the announcement of that Battle Royal, Sky is going to win the Battle Royal, or Darby Allin. That's the prediction for that.
I'm making this win for Darby Allin. That ladder for sure. I'm giving it to Darby.
Darby or the mystery as well.
Darby.
Okay. See, I still think Darby is busy gunning for Cody and that TNT title. I'm very gun ho on that.
Well,
prediction.
This isn't a title. It's just a 9 free for all ladder match.
But the winner gets an AEW title shot, specifically.
And Darby wouldn't go for that?
I mean, he could. I just think that's not where the story's going.
Oh. Well, I'm ignoring the story, obviously.
I mean, there's no reason he couldn't, right?
That's why I'm ignoring the story. Why couldn't he go for why couldn't he do that?
No, you're right. There is no reason why he couldn't. You're absolutely right.
So, I'm picking Darby Allin.
Okay. I would like to see Phoenix win on just a personal preference, because I know Phoenix can play the main event. He's excellent. My prediction for a mystery guy, now that you said Havoc, I'm really leaning towards Havoc.
See?
Yeah.
When I saw Havoc in there, I'm like, mystery guy. It's either that or Pac. I can't see anyone else being a mystery. It certainly wouldn't be 10.
No.
I can't see that. I can't see any of the inner circle or elite in that.
No, they're all busy with the Stadium Stampede.
Right.
Yeah.
I certainly can't see Sean Spears or Dustin Rhodes.
Well, they got their own match going.
Exactly. So you're pretty, you narrow it down. that would be about it.
Well, here is something that I thought about could happen. MJF and Jungle Boy have their match early on the show, and then MJF is that ninth guy, and he weasels his way into winning the match after losing to Jungle Boy. So he doesn't totally lose that big credibility spot. He gets his title match, and he's all cocky about it, blah, blah, blah.
You could go that route.
Could absolutely do that.
So is that your guy? To win the ladder match is MJF?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something kind of big heel move like that.
Okay, well, if he doesn't show up, then you're totally out.
Yeah, well. I mean, if this was like WWE or something, like every member of the Dark Order would hit the ring and take the chip just as collateral in case Mr. Brody Lee doesn't win or something.
Yeah.
So they give him the chip. I mean, that's a wacky story. It makes sense, I guess, but anyways. Tag team match. This is where Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, got her knee all fucked up off a double DVD from Shida and Statlander. A really cool spot. Just unfortunately landed very incorrectly right onto Baker's knee. No update on the injury.
After rewatching that whole match, poor Britt. I mean, that leg was like a rubber band.
Yeah, she could put no weight on it. It's at the very least a sprain.
And Nyla dragging her off like she did because she obviously knew that Britt was not doing very well. It could be that she very well she did a meniscus tear on that knee, which is very easy to do when you just when your knee goes one way and the muscle stays in the
right.
Yeah. So the way she wasn't in excruciating pain because the meniscus tear is I've had it, and it's just as soon as it happens, you're like, oh shit. You're like, I can't freaking move my leg. Your leg is just like a rubber band.
Right.
So that's what I think happened. Hopefully not. But that's gonna, there was gonna be two women events for Double or Nothing, and if Britt's out, I don't know what they're gonna do about that because she was supposed to go up against Statlander.
Yeah, assuming she's good to go, I see Britt Baker winning the match and continuing her trek upwards. As for the Hikaru Shida Nyla Rose women's title match, this one is a big toss-up with me because
it's not going to be Shida. I'll tell you that.
Well,
it's
why?
Going to be Nyla Rose because it's back to the hadn't had it long enough. Nyla Rose is a beast. She has to, it's going to take a while for someone to take it out of Nyla beastly arms. I don't see Shida winning.
Well,
nope.
What really brings my head into question here is Shida got powerbombed and pinned in this match, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the second straight tag match in which it's Shida and partner versus Nyla Rose and partner, in which Nyla Rose pins Shida, along with the story of Nyla Rose beating Shida up, whether that's backstage or whatnot, right? And I pay attention to Shida's social media because she plays the piano, she sings, she does all these kind of talents and things on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. She's very multi-talented. And she's really playing up the part where she's tired of losing and Nyla Rose getting the best of her. And really hyped up the no disqualification match. They did the big table spot in which they just got over and Nyla Rose went through. So that's kind of hinting that Shida is turning into a character where she is going to go hardcore in this match, right? There's just a piece missing to me for this story being told. to really put it over the edge. And that's kind of a talking point of just the women's division in AEW as a whole. There's just something missing to get them over, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, I could see Shida winning the title here, because honestly, with the state of the women's division, it doesn't really matter, as they're still trying to get a foothold. And how do you think, like, what I'm trying to put my mind in their, put my feet in their shoes, how and who would be best fitted to get the women's division more over? And I really think that's just simply putting on better matches on TV on a consistent basis, and that's with Shida. She is the more well-rounded, best women's wrestler on the roster, with arguably the most experience, and we've never seen a bad singles match from her. That's my thought process. And if Nyla wins, well, then she can continue her reign as trying to be a credible champion, etc., etc. So this is where it's a big coin flip for me. I see Shida winning because of the grander future that could be there.
Right. I'm still going to stick with Nyla Rose because I think Shida will win with a crowd.
Big babyface win in front of people. Yeah, I mean,
there's
there's no reason they have to do any of these changes. During the circumstances, they can continue kind of on this path throughout the summer. Yeah. It just seems they're just going with the flow and trying to be a little bit more creative with certain aspects.
I mean, I hate Nyla Rose. Can't stand her, and I would love to see Shida win, no doubt about it.
Sure,
but I don't see her winning at this point. I don't think Shida's ready. It's just like I'm not saying Shita's not ready to kick some ass. But who is the weakling that
Riho?
I was coming? Riho, thank you. Where's she? She's back home?
Oh, yeah, she's stuck in Japan. Japan's still under nationwide crisis mode situation.
Yeah.
She is posting pictures of her online with her wrestling gear on and everything, so who knows?
Yeah. The women's wrestling has a lot to build up still, and I hope Shida wins, but I don't think she will.
Yeah, I would like to see. I mean, I love what they're doing with Britt Baker.
I hate it. I hate having to say it.
I love what they're doing with Britt Baker. She's getting a huge highlight. She's definitely a focal point of the division.
She turned a great heel. She's a great heel.
Yes.
She's really, and I wasn't a fan of hers at the beginning, but when she finally developed this, definitely a fan of hers. I like the character she is now.
Yeah.
And she's turning into a good wrestler. And I personally don't care for women wrestling, but okay.
I just would like to see. I mean, these are your big four right here: Baker, Rose, Shida, Statlander. Right?
Yeah. My favorite by far is the night I got to see Britt Baker's bloody face.
Well, that was a big match in AEW, and that's been arguably their best match during this little empty arena thing, is the Baker-Shida match. So, Baker's getting a lot of highlights. Rose has had just a couple promos. Shida's not really had any time to speak or, show off her character. There was a Road 2 show in which Cody and company called up Shida, and Shida played the piano for them. Kitty cat. Oh my God, stop. She played the piano for them all. She spoke a little English. Like, All you have to do is show something like that on national TV, not your dumb YouTube channel that hardly anyone watches.
Yeah.
And boom, you got her over. You could have some goofy thing with Statlander being an alien, pretending alien, whatever universe you want to live in on what you think the character is. Look, I've seen it firsthand. You've seen it firsthand. Little girls and women, you're one of them, love Chris Statlander and the goofy alien character.
Yes.
It's so, it draws the little girls in. It's so much fun. She's a powerful, unique character. Yeah. Show that off, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Nyla Rose, I mean, she's
I don't give a shit.
Well, she's big, powerful. She's the champion. You know, have her crush people like the Shauna thing. Everything can be done. I just don't know why it's not being done. Right?
Right.
But at the very least, we can say they've done a great job with Britt Baker. So I guess it's one step at a time. Just getting a little impatient after 7 months, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Matt Hardy defeats Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara loves spiking himself on the head.
Oh my god.
Fun little match, but the big story here is after the match, they're building up to the Stadium Stampede match. You know, the crossover between the Spring Stampede WCW pay-per-view and the Canadian Stampede in Your House pay-per-view that WWF used to run. They're doing a match, Stadium Stampede. Elite versus the Inner Circle. We cut to the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium, which is right down the road.
in the same complex.
Yeah, right down the road in the complex, basically. And it shows the Inner Circle waterboarding Kenny Omega on the field goal post. And beating him with a bat. The Young Bucks show up. They do a crossbody. Matt Jackson supposedly may have broken a rib on a crossbody. Just a simple little lucha move. So that sucks. Yeah. So there's your 3 right there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Hangman Page makes his epic return. A big 50-yard dash minimum in cowboy boots, doing a big clothesline.
Where was the beer? He should have been running with his beer.
That would have been great. Had a full beer in hand.
Right.
While he's
that
doing
would have
it.
been, yeah. And then, let's
90% cowboy shit here. It wasn't the full 100.
Right.
But he was wearing the cowboy boots, so...
Yeah, it was great seeing him. I really, 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 really missed Page.
Yeah. I mean, one great thing AEW has done on so many shows is there's always something so great, a moment that we take away that gets us hyped up for the future, whether it's Sammy Guevara getting run over by the cart to Hangman Page here doing a 50-yard dash in cowboy boots.
I loved him, Guevara, when he came out with the neck brace and when the chair is his walker.
Oh yeah, know? he's all sore.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
But yeah, it was great seeing Page and coming in from the 50-yard line, you know, and it would have been even better if he came in with this beer. A bucket of beer or something good.
Yeah. So Shivani and JR commented that there's going to be a ring on the 50-yard line in this big empty stadium.
Yeah.
It's Falls Count Anywhere, so that's going to be... They could do a lot of different things with this. I hope it's pre-taped, actually, so then we can keep track of action better.
Yeah.
Because I'm very worried we're going to get all this, like, weird picture-in-picture shit that straight out of the 80s where it's really bad.
Yeah.
But my optimism for this match is my intrigue for what could go down is 100% there. I could see someone interfering in the match, whether it's for the Elite or the Inner Circle, either side. Maybe there's 2 interferences. Or maybe it's just a simple story of the Elite finally beat the Inner Circle and come out on top, which would be a nice little go-home story. I'm leaning toward the latter. My prediction.
I'm hoping that the Elite annihilate the Circle. I just hope. That's my wish. But there are going to be some other matches like the Sean Spears, Dustin Rhodes. Who do you think's going to do that one?
I see Dustin winning.
You do?
Spears has his role. It's a good little mid-card role of you just want to see him get his ass kicked. He's did his little Toronto Sports Network thing where he's
Dustin Rhodes is retired.
Yeah, finally.
Right, finally.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that. So they're gonna have a nice little match. It's fine. That could easily start out the show actually, just because it's kind of let's get this over with.
I'm gonna take Sean Spears on that.
All right, I'll take Dustin.
And then the Baker Statlander. If Baker isn't available for Statlander, who do you think Statlander would be up against?
I mean, I would imagine Penelope Ford. She's kind of been the one that's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're thinking Ford. All right. Yeah. And then there's the tag team contenders, Best Friends versus SCU.
No, it's Best Friends Private Party.
Private Party?
Yeah. I already went with Best Friends and you went Private Party.
Oh.
Yeah.
We already talked about that?
We did.
Huh.
Yeah. So that was the whole prediction for Double or Nothing and the AEW Dynamite review all in one. Nice little big discussion.
Yeah.
We have a good outlook, and that's something that could be well said is the fact that with the stories being told and how they were told, we have an idea of where they could go or possibly go, and yet still be surprised, and it all kind of makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I'm very happy with how they were able to build to this pay-per-view in a short amount of time, and
all the shit that's going on.
All the shit that's going on, and how they were able to get there. No, I don't think it's like the biggest. It's definitely not as built to some matches as say Full Gear was. However, I think they've done a good job with this one, and I'm very excited for it, empty arena or not. And
I'm thrilled. I think there's gonna be some great matches, great mayhem, lots of stories being told. And it's going to be pure entertainment, which I'm really looking forward to. Entertainment.
What's your prediction for match? What's your prediction for match of the night?
For match of the night?
Mm-hmm.
For next week? For Saturday?
Yes.
For Double or Nothing?
Yes.
Match of the night. I'm going to have to say the match of the night is going to be with Cody Archer.
Ooh. I'm predicting the Casino Ladder match.
The reason I say the Cody Archer match is because of Tyson being involved.
Ooh. You know what? That could be the one we talk about the most coming out of it. Or the Stadium Stampede where they just do all these wacky, crazy things.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's my prediction of what's going to be. So we'll see if I'm right or not.
My curiosity standpoint, I'm very curious to how the Nyla Rose Shida match is going to go. Because it's no DQ, I'm excited, but I'm very worried that it could just be a trash match where they're just hitting each other with shit and then it just ends.
Yeah. And and that's the thing I have a problem with Nyla Rose. She's just, she doesn't belong in the ring with women.
Oh, come on.
Doesn't belong in the ring with women. I'm sorry.
Don't do that. Don't be that way.
I don't want her in there. I don't like her.
What, because she's too big?
I cannot like her. Yeah, she's a beast.
Well, that's the gimmick.
I know that's the gimmick. I don't like her. She's a mismatch of women. It's a mismatch for women. I think if anybody has...
Just because she's a bigger woman doesn't mean it's not fair.
Statlanders are the only other beast in there.
Well,
And Statlander had her on her shoulders, which was amazing.
Well, we did see that moment. Well,
Yeah.
all right. I'm excited for Double or Nothing. You're excited for Double or Nothing. When we return, we will have our review over Double or Nothing. How about that?
Don't you want my star matches?
Yes, and your wrestler of the...
Am I wrestler of the night?
Well, actually, no.
What?
I want those after Double or Nothing.
What?
But you can give me your match of the night if you have one.
My matches of the night was the Sammy Guevara Matt Hardy match,
Mm-hmm.
and my other one was the Orange Cassidy and Ray Phoenix.
3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. What do you got?
Three and three.
3 and 3. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
No problem there.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll save your wrestler of the week until after Double or Nothing.
Fair enough.
All right.
I guess so.
All right, I'll play the music, and it'll be time for Double or Nothing. All right, Mom, we're back for part 2 of this AEW cast.
Yay!
Rounding out.
There's more people in the audience. Yay!
Much more. So we just did, last we left off, we did an hour speculation of the Go Home Show AEW.
Yeah, I want to hear a recap on the speculation because I want to know how many I got right and how many I got. That's exactly right.
I didn't write them down.
What?
I didn't write them down.
You said who was going to win, who wasn't going to win.
Well, you got more wrong than me.
I did.
You did.
Wow.
You did.
How could that be?
Yeah, like you took Archer over Cody. I believe you took Nyla over Shida, and that was kind of our tiebreakers, if memory serves. So, what we're gonna do is I kind of mentioned this.
I take that back. I didn't want Nyla to win, but I thought she would.
Well,
and
that's still,
Cody, the same thing. I wanted Archer to win, but I knew he wouldn't, and I took Cody.
I don't remember that
I know
part.
that one. I remember that one.
So,
all right. Even though I've slept since then, I remember that. It's got to be.
Yes, so we've watched Double or Nothing and the post-Dynamite show, kind of setting up more or less what the summer's going to be until Fyter Fest and All Out. And the way we're going to do this is I'm just going to quickly run through the results of Double or Nothing, the results of May 27th Dynamite episode number 34, and then we're going to go over kind of our top 5 positives, our top 3, or I guess least 3 negatives. That's probably better.
I got no negatives. I'm not talking about negatives. That's
there were
your
negatives.
thing, I guess.
I have negatives.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm only going for the positives.
Yeah, and then we're going to finish out with a little conversation over AEW's emphasis on comedy during the coronavirus period, which I think is a very important point, especially coming out of Double or Nothing, and Mike Tyson's role in AEW. That's very important going forward. So, bear with me for a second as I go through, or at least a few seconds minimum, as I go through the results. Double or Nothing, number 1 contender tag team match determines the opponent for whomever the tag team champions are at Fyter Fest. The explanation wasn't very clear, but they did make it clear later among the Double or Nothing and Dynamite. And the Best Friends predictably went over Private Party. I believe you picked Private Party and I picked Best Friends. Casino ladder match started off the show. Brian Cage was indeed the mystery entrant, and he won the 28.5-minute match. MJF defeated Jungle Boy, 17 minutes, 10 seconds. The TNT title followed, which shocked us both. We thought it'd be much later on the card. The inaugural champion, Cody, defeated Lance Archer in 21 minutes, 14 seconds. Chris Statlander defeated Penelope Ford in an 8-minute match. Dustin Rhodes defeated Sean Spears in a 4-minute comedy-esque squash match. Hikaru Shida won the No DQ women's title from the former champion Nyla Rose in a 16.5-minute match. Jon Moxley retained his title over Mr. Brody Lee of the Dark Order via referee's decision in a 15.5-minute match, one of the shorter matches on the entire card. And then
I liked it, though.
Yes. We will be discussing that. The Elite plus Matt Hardy defeated the Inner Circle in the ever so popular Stadium Stampede match that went 34 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. Then on May 27th...
the finale was awesome.
Yes. May 27th, Dynamite, episode 34. We had the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy starting off the show. They defeated the team of Private Party and Joey Janela.
Fun match.
Brian Cage defeated Lee Johnson in a squash match, in which then Taz, his manager, put out the challenge to Jon Moxley.
Right.
Hikaru Shida defeated the Brazilian dance queen Christy James.
And they're gonna meet up on when?
Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest.
Sometime this summer. No
Fest.
date. I would imagine the end of June, beginning of July might be a good point to put that as. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian win a number 1 contendership tag match to determine who's going to face Omega and Page on the June 3rd show. So they're putting a card together for June 3rd, which is next week. The TNT number 1 contender battle royal, Jungle Boy won, being the winner of the last 4, which consisted of himself, Orange Cassidy, MJF, and Wardlow. Shenanigans ensued there. Jungle Boy is the number 1 contender for June 3rd, in which he will face Cody for the TNT title. And on that same show, Cody made a stipulation of he will defend in an open challenge format weekly for the TNT title once he's past Jungle Boy. So there's that. And then the Inner Circle pep rally rounded out the Dynamite main event, in which Jericho called out Mike Tyson, and shenanigans ensued from there.
Laugh. Grand finale.
That was the grand finale. So yes, there you go. I have my top 5 written down, and my least 3, which conversation ensues, of course. What were your top 5 moments? I think it goes without saying that the
top
stadium's
5 moments for Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing and Dynamite combined.
Right.
Right.
I really liked Darby's flying off the ladder with the skateboard. That was just too cool. Spears striptease act.
You like that?
And showing his butt.
You quite enjoyed that, did you?
That was quite funny.
That was one of your top 5?
These are my top 5, absolutely.
Okay. All right. You do you.
I'm doing me. And those things are like too funny. I'm going for the funny.
All right.
Things were funny. Double or Nothing was fun and funny, and I'm not all about the
You think Darby doing a skateboard dive and almost breaking his leg is funny?
No, not funny. Of course not. Well, of course not. I mean,
just taking the piss.
Any of the acrobats these guys were doing in all of Double or Nothing, I mean, flying from the second level down into the, down onto the ground.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's pretty amazing. Crazy shit. That's crazy shit. I was going for the crazy shit, things that I guess really struck me.
Okay, things that made a lasting impression. Sure.
Well, and see, here's my case in point. And I liked it when Sheeta broke the stick on Nyla Rose's neck. That was pretty cool. And then Moxley, and this is where it must be where my head's at watching this. Mm-hmm. Moxley and Brody break the floor of the. It was pretty cool. And Brody comes up as a bloody mess. That was really cool. And the stampede in the stadium.
Stampede in the stadium. How appropriate. Talking like Matt Hardy already.
The stampede in the stadium with Paige and the horse chasing after Sammy was awesome. And then Paige finds the East Club and Scott and what's his butt comes in. Were you here to fight or you here to drink? Bam! That was good. And then when Paige got when he made Paige as clearing the bar, throwing him off at the end, it was like watching a Western.
Yeah, it was like an old John Wayne movie, right?
Yeah, it was
that whole
great.
Scene.
Yeah, that whole thing was just great. That was a lot of fun. I mean, you could go on and on with Hardy in the pool, you know.
A pool of reincarnation.
And he can hold his breath for 365 seconds. And that's, you know, he's making the signs in the water and all that.
The matter of facts,
funny.
As it was called.
Right. The matter of facts. And then there was this whole 4 different things. Matt Money.
Mm-hmm.
Funny shit. It was a great I just really liked it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of action constantly. Those are the things that I took out of that. You know, you can get all technical and go on your little thing about what their moves are and all that.
Well, we're not gonna go over this, but just for the sake of the Stadium Stampede, there is a list here of like all the shenanigans that went down.
It was a ton of shenanigans, but it was amazing. But it was, oh my God! I mean, ouch! Oh shit! You know, I'm looking at these guys got some war wounds since they first started. And the other thing about Double or Nothing, I guess it was a year when they first came out, right?
Yes, it's the exact year date since their very first event.
So it was they really didn't even say much about that. It was just kind of said nonchalantly, and so that's pretty cool to know. And yeah, now I even more so why everything was going the way it was going, because it was a lot of freaking fun. Even when, you know, Jericho puts the cone on his head and laughs like the Joker, you know, just go on and on. They never even went into the ring in the stadium. They did. It
was mostly at the beginning.
Yeah.
They were in the ring for about 5 minutes in total.
5 seconds. Yeah, right. 5 seconds. It was almost just like a little prop. But yeah, a lot of fun things went on at Double or Nothing. They're gonna have to when they got their 5 years coming up, they're really gonna have to do something.
Well, I mean, they've kind of established.
This is. As a matter of fact.
Whoa. What happened to your audio there?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that was wild. So they've established that Double or Nothing is their big Memorial Day show, and then All Out is their big Labor Day show. Those are their two biggest ones. They're kind of getting some in between there. So I'll just go over the kind of the list of the Stadium Stampede nonsense. Hangman riding a horse. 100 yards of Northern Light suplexes.
That was crazy, right?
The pool and reincarnation you mentioned. Moonsault off a goalpost. Calls were challenged like in a football game.
Going off the goalpost like that, I'm like, holy shit.
And of course, it had to be Matt Jackson with the busted ribs.
Right.
Calls being challenged like at a football game.
He's going to be milking that for a while, though. He's going to be having to have that taped for a while.
Oh, sure. Sammy Guevara chased by a golf cart, part 2.
I think he should get a vest, like that one guy we
Byron
used to
Reed
watch.
in MLW.
Yeah, he needs to get a vest like that. That's so cool.
And then you mentioned the whole bar scene, like the John Wayne movie, which is real cool.
Oh, I love that. That was so fun. They did do some damage on the pool, because the one piece that covers a bunch of, you know, the for the money and grabbing the money. Oh, funny stuff. Keep going.
Yeah, and then how it all topped it all off with Kenny Omega giving Sammy Guevara a big one-winged angel off the bleachers through the giant crash pad area. It was absolutely nonsense. It had to be at least 20 feet, right?
Thank God, and I watched it several times. Thank God, I believe there was a rubber mattress under it.
Oh, it was a huge crash pad. It was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh my God, if that were real, they'd be in the hospital.
Yeah. And the good guys win. Hey, how about that?
Yeah, and the good guys win.
Yeah, a huge long-term story, all finished out here on at the Stadium
Well, it was
Stampede.
really nice to see them all together, and actually, you know, that was good to see. I liked it, that part.
The good guys overcome. My top 5 consist of I'll go from 5 to 1. So number 5, I put Moxley and Brody Lee exceeding expectations in a brawl-style match with an ECW-style ending that's going through the stage style. It really reminded me of the Taz Bam Bam Bigelow match where they went through the ring. Yeah, that was really cool. Nobody had high expectations going into the match. Everyone was commenting on you yourself, Mom, and myself. Brody Lee's probably coming in too early. Character's not really established yet. Now with him losing the way he did, and there's a lot of
for it now. He's got to work for it.
Yeah,
same thing with Cage coming in. Moxley ain't going. That belt is not going away from Moxley. Mm-mm.
And nor should it.
It should. Mm-mm.
This is going to build up. Very good for Cage. Came in as a monster. Wins the chip.
He is a beast.
I did see a lot of people commenting about what's the point of the ranking system when you're just going to make stipulation matches where people can jump the line. I think you're kind of nitpicking at that point. I don't really see the problem with doing both. You take advantage of the situation presented in front of you situation, right?
Right.
Yeah. Number 4, Hikaru Shida in her Final Fantasy VII Tifa gear wins the emotional no DQ battle versus Nyla Rose, coming off the heels of the horrible situation out in Stardom with Hana Kimura and the kendo stick. What would you call it?
Break
climax, I guess.
Yeah, it was great.
It was so there was a match with there was a 4-way women's match that took place in which Britt Baker kicked the bow off a woman's hair, and that's how she won the match. It was in that move, so her bow flew out of her hair in the motion, and this gave me that exact same feeling where the stick that has been kind of a little part of the story, right? Nyla hit her with it, and then it does the big climactic break.
I would carry that stick with me to every show and show the broken, because that's powerful.
I mean, we just heard the crack.
Oh yeah, I'm
right?
so glad
on
that
Nyla,
happened.
put her down, the big Falcon arrow off the top, going through the poker table. They had a good fight. Shida worked well over 12 weeks to get to this point, and it was a it was a good match. It was a simple story with a climactic ending. It's not the most detailed one in the world, but with the emotion involved, and any Joshi fan out there, I think we all felt the same way.
Yeah,
it's about time the women delivered again at this point. Which, when you think about it, the matches themselves have pretty much delivered time and time again. It's just you want a little more time investment into them. FTR debuts in a well thought out segment on Dynamite, sets the feud with Butcher and Blade, and then later the Young Bucks, dude's former WWE Revival, show up in the old low riding beat up pickup truck, kick some ass.
Right.
That was really, really well done. They thought out ways to get rid of Matt Hardy from the picture, various other guys. It was very, very well done. Stadium Stampede match we already mentioned, and then my number 1 is actually the MJF Jungle Boy match and the roles in the Battle Royal on Dynamite the following week. that match, going into it, it was kind of your undercard, dudes in the mid-card, just not so much filler, but it was kind of a filler match, and they were told to go out there and try to steal the show in the best way possible, and they had a straight-up wrestling match. MJF works the arm, situations in the match where Jungle Boy had a submission, but he couldn't use his arm, so that's what broke it. MJF tried to roll up, use the tights, Jungle Boy reverse tried to use the tights, and then MJF pulls out a bridge pin, flash win. They had acrobatic moves with the poison rod and the apron, which was absolutely insane. Everything in the match worked so well, and both guys came out looking like future stars, and this is the future of AEW. These matches, to me, is why you get invested in guys not in the main event, and you can't wait to see them rise to the occasion. So MJF gets the big win on the pay-per-view, and then we were talking about whom should win, who should be the first to challenge Cody for this TNT title, and thinking in this Battle Royal, it should be someone who could use the Battle Royal win and use another good match, but not quite ready to take the title off of Mr. Cody Rhodes, right? And Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, unless you want to wait on that story a little bit more. Maybe Phoenix, someone that you want to see in the main event in the future, but isn't quite ready there. And the booking of Jungle Boy, I think, is excellent. And it came out as my number one kind of takeaway from both Double or Nothing and Dynamite. Just from my wrestling fandom perspective. Very good. My least favorite three is I didn't like the Shawn Spears-Dustin WWE style comedy match. I thought it was a waste of time. These kinds of things don't need to be there. The best situation I could think of is it was used as a breather point in between the bigger matches. Kind of an intermission, if you will. So, I would rather you just go, we're going to take a 10-minute break, intermission, and kind of have the commentators talking. That's what I would have done. But I didn't like it. It reminded me too much of WWE and why I stopped watching that in the first place. But you liked it, Mom, so that's your take.
Well, I didn't even mention that. I didn't even mention that match.
The Cody match?
No, the Dustin and...
It was in your top 5. The Shawn Spears getting stripped naked.
Yeah, but that was comedy. I think that was comedy.
And I didn't
that
like
part.
It.
You didn't like the comedy?
I liked how it started with.
I think it was a great commercial. I like seeing Spears' butt. That was a lot of fun. That was funny.
Well, if you treat it like a commercial, then it's fine.
Yeah, it was a commercial.
Okay.
Like you said, it was a break. It doesn't need to be there. Well, they probably showed a commercial during that whole match.
It's a pay-per-view. There's no commercials. Anyways.
There's always something.
My second least favorite was the overbooking of the TNT title. Cody has this really, really bad habit of overbooking NWA style, and it's hit or miss. There's rarely ever an in-between with his stuff. TV matches, he's very good. We haven't seen really any problems with the TV match, but when it comes to pay-per-view, it's almost like flipping a coin. This will be either really good and everyone will love it, or it's just going to be what happened here? Why? The match even started out really cool as well. Lance Archer gave him the big blackout slam. Cody, we almost thought he was going to lose in 4 seconds, right? And then as the match went on and the slowly coming, you're like, they showed Mike Tyson yawning.
Which
good. Which was really dumb. I was like, how could you show that?
Well, he did it right when the camera was on him, I mean, what are you going to do? Because they say pan to Mike, because he was probably sitting there, and then he did the yawn when they turned
amateur hour. And then the best way I could.
No, you didn't see that. It was really it was just dumped in there.
and then Jake the Snake Roberts takes the ref, and then Arn Anderson decides to, he's got the referee. I'm going to cheat now. The good guy. Very confusing. And the best explanation I could think of was Jake the Snake Roberts' idea was to take the ref and lure Arn Anderson into getting caught cheating. So he would be eliminated from the match. That's the best explanation I could think of. The problem is, didn't come across that way. It just seems super random, like what's happening here. We did at the very least get the second ref coming out and then asking Tyson, did he do it? And he's like, yeah, get him out of here. Fuck that guy. That was funny. But then Jake just randomly comes back. He has supposedly the big snake in the bag, and then Tyson takes his shirt off, scares him away, and then Cody just wins. Overbooked, did not work, fell completely flat. Tyson's role was extremely minimal. It was almost like why he was even there. Not to mention the unfinished title.
Right. And just even giving the belt over to Cody, it was real awkward. They had an awkward moment.
Right. So it went from saying
very odd.
It's very disappointing. We went from saying this could possibly main event the pay-per-view to this is possibly one of the worst matches on the card.
Yeah, because it did start. You're right. It did start out. It started out well, but then you kind of got lost. I'm like, what? Okay, and then Tyson didn't know whether to stay or to go or to what to do, and
very strange. Everyone's like, who's tight? I mean, they even said in promos he's got free reign and he didn't do anything, and
he did nothing. Nothing.
He couldn't knock out both managers and just take it upon himself.
I mean, I was expecting him to be walking around and, just intimidating people or do something. Yeah. But he did nothing but sit at that chair. They lost that one.
Yeah, so that was a huge negative on me. And then number one, this might come off as me being a fuddy-duddy. You use that word.
Maybe.
But it's the casino ladder match itself. Now, I wouldn't call this a bad match. I wouldn't call it a terrible match. But I wouldn't call it a good match either. And here's why. This is the number one... This is for the chip where you can skip the line to the world title, right? And their option was... AEW decided, we're going to do this in car crash style. Hey, that's all well and good. The problem is the prize. The prize is the number one thing in the company. That's what you're fighting for. And they basically spearheaded this entire match as a comedy car crash. Just too much comedy. Orange Cassidy just not knowing how to climb a ladder, not wanting to be in the match, nobody really going for the title at any point. Not really anyways. I'm just not a fan of people that don't want to win, don't have any anticipation to win. And then the other thing is, and I spoke kind of briefly on this, was most of the people in the match I couldn't even believe were capable of being in the main event. Colt Cabana, comedy guy, not really pushed. Joey Janela, hey, I like him, but he's a mid-card guy. He's out there to be the crashing car. Hey, he's a good guy to put in the match to be in that car crash. Brian Cage was kind of the saving grace where he was the killer. He came out, took everybody to try to take him out, and then he wins. That was cool. And Darby Allin was another car crash guy, but he's been built up enough where you could believe he was basically kind of the only other guy who could win. Maybe you can make a case for Scorpio Sky like I did. That's still at least 6 other guys that you just don't see. That was a big negative on me. Yeah. And then I just want to mention the Britt Baker injury. Turns out she will not be injured for the entire year. She's going to be out for only about 6 to 8 weeks, and she's going to return at All Out. And she came out in a wheelchair. This is on Dynamite. That said role model, ROLL.
Which was great.
Fantastic. She's playing up full on. I can tell she's been watching WCW from 1998. I've been watching it all. Jericho's a conspiracy victim. She's naming it's a conspiracy all against her. All these conspirators. Reba Rebel comes out. She's playing the big assistant. She's flipping the conspirator board. Chris Statlander, you're not an alien. You're just a crock of shit.
Yep.
All signs point back to Aubrey Edwards, when she got her nose broken.
Which is perfect. She was there somewhere.
She was there somewhere. She's like, she goes, when I got my leg hurt, Aubrey was there. When I got my, she said something else. When something else got, concussion, Aubrey was there. When I got my nose broken, well, she was somewhere, so that's good enough for Britt Baker. So yeah, she's playing the whole conspiracy victim, just like Jericho did in '98. She's coming out in full wheelchair and everything, like her leg. She claims she has a broken tibia, of all things.
Right.
Which is crazy. So she's playing the Scott Steiner, just over injuring herself, and then she's coming back at All Out. So I really like that segment. Kind of put in her own category. So then, okay, let's get into our conversation here. The emphasis on comedy, AEW, we noticed since coronavirus started and these empty arena shows, they've hit their stride with their format, and it's a higher emphasis on comedy. Why do you think this is? And is it working?
Comedy is good for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. I think that because we have had such a time in our own places that to bring this out on TV and being able to do that, I thought it was great. I think it's a great, this was great. They are going to get back to business though. I think, I hope they remain with what they have, because I watched, we watched Dynamite. I had Dean over and I said, good, because I wanted him to watch AEW. Mm-hmm. He, in fact, hadn't watched it in a long time.
Wrestling, you mean?
Wrestling,
you mean?
Wrestling, correct.
Just in general, not AEW specifically.
He goes, oh, yeah, this is great. He was into it. He got into it. So we converted somebody who may be watching it more, All
right.
I think that, they've come a long way in a year. And Double or Nothing, granted, there was a lot of comedy in this one, more so than they've really been built. No matter what, during this pandemic, they have had some type of comedy in all their shows. Mm-hmm. All of them. And so this event was no different. And there were some fantastic wrestling during all of it too, though. You just go, whoa, crazy shit, Granted, you may not like, when you analyze something, JD, you really analyze it. And I see your point about the ladder match for sure. That business with Orange Cassidy, I'm telling you, he's a douchebag anyways. So, of course he's going to be like a dumbass and not know how to, open a ladder. Really? What was he born? I don't know when, because anybody who's been born and's grown up, maybe he just hasn't grown up, so knows how to open a freaking ladder at least. That was really bad. But the comedy thing, I think they'll, when we get totally back, which won't be for quite a while. Mm-hmm. But it was good to see in the audience of both shows that they at least have more than just what's around the ring. You could, I saw about maybe 25 people in one area that they let in.
Yeah, everyone's tested. There's a lot of
so if
analytics and
everybody has
pundits
to be tested.
Yeah.
I think people, when they go into a restaurant, should be tested first before entering. Could you imagine? Oh my God, my human rights.
Right.
But anyway,
well, there's a big difference. You can do two things with this whole coronavirus. You can either test every single person that goes in, and then you can go, okay, well,
we're getting off subject.
I know, but right quick. You can test every single person that goes in, and you go, okay, well, then you're all tested. Everyone came up, I guess, positive. The test isn't perfect, but nothing is, right? You could either live in fear and do the test and be a little bit less fearful and then take your risk, right? Or no test and then do the 6 feet thing, which, to my knowledge, has been proven to not really mean much, considering. But the masks also don't really mean much, but it's all about comfort, right? Do you feel safe? So it's all on perception, right?
Sure.
It's all on the viewers. Like, is this perceived as safe to me and what you're doing? To me, it doesn't matter because they're going to anyways. And
I went into a restaurant this morning and I didn't wear a mask. And actually, the only people that were wearing a mask when they entered were the people that were working there.
Yeah, well, good for them.
But people coming in, nobody had a mask on.
People are tired of it.
Right.
People are tired. Well, the country's burning down anyways, but anyway. So, yes, comedy.
Peace be to all.
Yeah, the comedy seems to be very necessary right now. Everyone's very angry, frustrated, and to be taken too serious during this time can be a turnoff. Maybe you're not. It seems a lot of people aren't in the mood to be this serious. Yes, I have my quips and I'm analyzing the casino ladder match. It's what I like. But did I enjoy the match when I was watching it? I did. I had a good laugh. I had fun. It's just kind of the long-term viewpoint and then just what I like and what I want out of wrestling.
Well, 3 stars to MJF and Jungle Boy's match.
Only
for Double or
3,
Nothing.
say you.
I say me.
Okay.
And actually,
any match get higher than that?
no. Well, I really like Stampede, so Stampede would get 4 for that.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. And good shit going on the whole time. Yeah, for sure. Stampede was good.
All right.
Stampede
so that
was great. Crazy fun.
And then who was your best wrestler past couple weeks? Who's your favorite or whatnot? Whatever you want to categorize it as.
Oh, I don't know. Can't tell you offhand. I'm not going there.
Well, while you think, I mean, you can pick one person.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay. So then our last discussion, real quick, is Mike Tyson's role. We already spoke about his TNT match, but the segment on Dynamite that went through. Some perceived it as goofy. Some perceived it as the argument, well, if WWE did it, you guys would have shit on it, hated it. I have seen some negativity on it myself.
What?
Just Mike Tyson in general and the whole segment itself. Some saw it as a simple publicity stunt. This is what WWE does. I don't want this in my AEW. What is your feelings on the segment as a whole? That's the pep rally plus Mike Tyson and his posse coming out. What is your feelings on it? Do you think it's too negative? Do you think do you think there's positive coming out of it? What do you have, Mom?
I don't. Do you really see that as going any further with Mike Tyson? I mean, he doesn't. I don't see him. I just think this was publicity. He's probably going to go over to WWE next. I'm serious because I don't see him as an anything. I would rather actually see when they brought the other guy out, PPE or whatever his name was. They need to bring some more oldies but goodies. I would love that Bret the Hitman Hart would come back. That would.
He has shown up in AEW before.
Yeah, he has.
He's the one. Yeah, he at All Out he presented the AEW title to Omega Moxley when they were Hangman and Hangman and Jericho when they had their match for the inaugural AEW title. Bret Hart presented the title, much like in the same realm as Mike Tyson.
Was I?
You weren't watching yet.
Well, then you have to tell me what episode that was.
Well, that was All Out in August last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll have to check it out.
Yes.
Will they have that, do you think?
Have what?
For me to watch?
Oh, I mean, you could probably find it online.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
So
no, I don't see Tyson as an anything, because he can't even get his shirt off. Come on. Jeez. Do you really think he's gonna wrestle? He knows nothing about wrestling. I don't see it happening.
I mean, they could do a goofy boxing match.
Sure. But
Him and Jericho.
what, no, I think he's I'm good. I don't need to see him do anything more. What do you think? They're gonna use him for something? What could they possibly use him for?
Well,
do tell.
I'm glad you asked. First and foremost, this was to get mainstream buzz. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
sure enough, every news site you can imagine covered this.
Right.
Covered Mike Tyson on there. His workout video went viral. He's in the news.
Well, it was smart. AEW was smart, but they don't now they got new viewers and stuff. What's this AEW? What's going on?
So
we're converting people. And so you bring Mike Tyson in, you got some buzz going on, and I even saw it in national news. I'm sure everyone else did too.
It was front page ESPN. And here's the thing.
So there you go.
We can look at it as a one-off. This is all we're going to see now. Nothing else. Okay. Is it a publicity stunt? Well, why does this work? And it's strictly because, besides wrestling fans, you and me, Mom, who's heard of AEW? Nobody.
Right.
When you say wrestling, the first thing that comes to mind is WWE.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Nobody has ever heard the name AEW. And how do you get that out there? That's what
happened to me on Saturday when I had, what's his butt? Watch it.
Yeah, you could show someone wrestling and they'll go, what is this, WWE? No, it's something else. And they go, what do you mean something else?
My friend Matthew comes over and he's watching it and he's like, wow.
Yeah. So
what is this?
Just doing this gets the name outside of the wrestling bubble.
Mm-hmm,
okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that regard, this was a rousing success. Okay?
Yes. But
now, the argument...
There's something wrong with that?
I would say no, but the other argument, the other side of the coin argument is, well, if WWE did it, you would have hated it. I will say, well, first of all, that argument's stupid, but let's humor that, okay? Because it's not an argument.
No, it's not an argument.
It's almost a form of jealousy when you think about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's humor that, though. If this happened in WWE, yes, this would have been stupid. Do you know why? Because they don't need it. Right? It does nothing for their business. Would it make mainstream news? Sure, but they're already mainstream news. Everyone's heard of them already. Is someone going to go, oh, WWE has Mike Tyson? Well, they've done that already. Twice. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a business mover. In AEW, they need this to move business further, to get their name out there.
Gotcha.
However goofy or raw the segment came off, it already succeeded in its goal. Okay? Now, the whole full intention here is to have Jericho and Tyson do something further, with hopefully this being the case, right? And then that will do more business. You get the name further out there, because the fact that their name is pretty much absent outside that bubble. WWE did this, they would have given Mike Tyson a script, and we can see the reference from 1998 and 2010 when this happened. Mike Tyson does nothing in that ring in WWE, okay? 1998, he stood there as Stone Cold Steve Austin talked at him, and his one move was pushing Stone Cold, and then all the security and everyone held everyone back, and Tyson stood there. Something similar happened in 2010, where it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and Tyson gets in the ring and punches Jericho. That was it. That was the extent of the move, okay? In AEW, we already saw him do so much more. He came out with an entire fucking posse. Apparently, unbeknownst to AEW, they said, go for it, Mike. Do what you want. So he came out with all these dudes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, former MMA stars, Henry Cejudo, I think Rashad Evans is his name. Vitor Belfort is a former MMA star, and then this wild dude in a tank top called Gooch, and he had wild face paint on like Animal, Legion of Doom style.
Yeah.
And Jericho's talking at him, and Tyson can't get Gooch rips his shirt off, no problem. Then Tyson tries to get his shirt off, but he can't. Then he just flexes in front of Jericho like a goofball, calls him a sucker. It's raw. It was ridiculous. It was funny. But it got us talking, okay?
Right. Sure.
People are like, well, he should be the baddest dude on the planet, like in the 80s or 90s. That's 20, 30 years ago. He's not that guy anymore. He's a 53-year-old former boxer that's now he's Iron Mike Goofball, right? That's who he is now. I mean, he's been in movies where he's only in comedy roles, basically, right? Hangover comes to mind.
Correct.
So that's who Mike Tyson is. Right now.
Right.
In his life, that's who he is. He's not the baddest dude on the planet, knocking dudes out in 6 seconds like he was in his early 20s.
Right.
So, yes, it was absolutely ridiculous. We're all talking about it. If it happened in WWE, it would have been stupid. Yes. But it wouldn't have gone down this way at all. It would have been heavily scripted. And he would have probably just stood there. And there's two instances of us seeing that in the past.
Yeah.
So, Mike Tyson's role is fulfilled. I want to see Henry Cejudo against Sammy Guevara, personally, because they're just two tiny dudes, and one's a former MMA star, and Guevara, he can get his ass kicked, and I don't care. It's funny.
I'd like that.
Yeah. That's what I think about it all. If it seems we're looking towards Jericho Tyson in like a boxing match, maybe a wrestling match, maybe something in between. Possibly we could be doing Gooch and Tyson versus Jericho and Guevara, or they did beat up Orange Cassidy on the show. Maybe Orange Cassidy could get involved and play that into a story of Tyson and Orange Cassidy versus Jericho and Guevara. You know, do something crazy and AEW-like. And since their emphasis on comedy, who better?
Right.
And as you said, Mom, when they get more of an audience back and we slowly head back to normal, I think you're right. We're going to go back to business as usual, get more serious, because then that's what people would be in the mood for again.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that does it. So have you picked your wrestler yet?
No, I haven't. I gotta say, Matt Jackson.
All right, so Young Bucks. Okay, they count as one. All right. We got a fun summer ahead for AEW. We clearly see where everything's heading. We kind of more or less called it all. We'll see if the long-term stuff plays out. Then we'll see us next time. Cool?
Cool.
All right. See you later, Mom.
See ya.
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. Just me by myself now for the rest of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed that long AEW discussion there. Ice Ribbon Dojo Shows 1041 Juku Tournament continues on its way. This will be short and quick. I'm just going to kind of read off my notes here, maybe put some emphasis on it, put some stank on it, if you will. Maybe drink a little White Claw. I haven't been doing a lot of that. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's lovely. 1041, Yappy tag teaming with Uno versus Ibuki Hoshi and Fujimoto. Entertaining, a little all over the place. Ibuki gets the pin on Yappy, so kind of gets her little win back there with a counter roll-up. That was real damn slow. Maya teaming up with Tekla in the second match against Mochi Miyagi and Suzu Suzuki. So another preview match here for Maya and Suzu. This is going to be a recurring thing until they get to their big Infinity matchup. Saw a lot of stuff I liked, such as Suzu attacking the legs of Maya. I think the Ice Ribbon wrestlers have been watching old John Tenta matches, because this is the second show in a row a wrestler used a trademark earthquake move. Here it is, Miyagi War Crusher doing the rope running sit down splash. Excuse me. Yes, that's where she did there. Once Suzu Ensuguri's Maya out of the match, Miyagi made a short work of Tekla, hitting the Styles Clash to win. And then our main event. So here we are, A block semifinal 3-way match for the final spot in the finals of the IWGP title tournament. It's for this block anyways, Risa Sera, Tsukushi, and Hamiko Hoshi. This was very entertaining. Tsukushi had a big Lucha moment of doing some Eddie Guerrero run to the turnbuckle, holding Hoshi's hands, drop kicking Sarah, arm dragging Hoshi in motion, finishing up with the headstand kip up. Beautiful. Lots of comedy from there. Double teaming Hoshi, of all people. And then your mixed bag 3-way. Tsukushi also pulled off a top rope Frankensteiner on Sarah. So Tsukushi was just brilliant in this match. Can't speak highly enough. Tsukushi then went full superstar mode as Sarah faltered. Jesus, cat. Sarah falters, getting drop kicked off the apron to be eliminated via over the top rope rule, leaving Hamiko and Tsukushi to go singles for the rest, with about 5 minutes left before the 19-minute time limit, as is the rules of the title. And just like in the Miyagi match with Tsukushi, they exchanged many near falls, and Hamiko again survives the barrage of near falls Tsukushi dished out. So unlike Suka match, where it went with Hamiko powering through trying to get the last pin, it was focused more on counters in and out of Tsukushi's flash pin situations, including her very deadly, awesome Harukaze, which she rolled through on one and then powered it into a DVD on another. That was pretty cool, actually. Time limit expires 19 minutes, as is the rule. Goes on to yet another live chat vote in a Hamiko match. And in a narrow victory this time, I believe... I don't remember the how close it was, but they did emphasize it was a narrow victory. Sexy Dynamite Hamiko Hoshi wins and moves on to the final. Live chat really let me down on this one, I gotta be honest. Tsukushi has been the MVP of the tournament. She had a great showing here. She's been pulling ace-type matches, and to get trolled in the chat is quite upset. There was even a great Twitter clip of Tsukushi holding her makeshift Juku title and her tag titles, one in each hand, and she just burst out into this like ugly cry tear, and she drops the titles in tears. It's actually really funny. Seek it out. On to 1042. Ibuki Hoshi is in new gear now, looking like she put some meat on her bones. And I mean this in a good way. She looks great. The outfit kind of matches. It makes her look a little bit older. I think it makes her look stronger. It's a good look for her. She's up against Bani Oikawa. Now Bani, she needs to desperately work on those kicks of hers. Oh boy, they were. I laughed. Let's just put it that way. But yes, Ibuki's new look is much improved and gets me to take her a bit more serious, which is a good thing. Ibuki does the drop down counter roll up. She does for the win. Risa Sera versus now Ishikawa. Biggest takeaway here is now is indeed a rookie, and much of what she does is kind of in slow motion, lacks that pop. But I do like how she's using a lot of planches and crossbodies. I think that's very unique. It's very old school. It gives her a nice little edge to her, I think. In time, anyways. Sarah wins off the springboard double knees she does. Gotta sneeze. Oh my god. Ooh. Maybe not. Okay. Drop kickers and their contempt are here to take on Tekla and Sexy Dynamite. Needless to say, the drop kickers are not amused on this day. The match starts with no handshake to Hamiko, as there fucking shouldn't be, and they bully her as they certainly should. But Hamiko gets back at them with her disgustingly vile, sexy poses. Rightfully so, in the end, the Dropkickers win via Tsukushi. Big double stomp from the top onto Tekla. Really stiff, too, like old school All Japan Women type stiff stomp. It was, but luckily, Tsukushi's like 85 pounds, so it's okay. We got our main event now, three-way match for the Juku title tournament, Block B. Now, I don't recall the Fujita Suzu match ever taking place. So either I missed that one completely, or they gave Suzu a bye with Fujita not being there. I have no idea. I wasn't able to find an answer on that one. If you're a listener, please inform me. Anyways, it's Maya versus Totoro versus Suzu. Suzu and Totoro do some team-up moments, which makes sense, while we saw Maya bust out the Mayu Lucha sit-out springboard flip arm drag maneuver here. So Maya does a Mayu. Suzu try using a jump rope to tie Maya and Totoro together to a railing outside. So going for that Risa Sera sneaky count-out victory. But was too slow and clumsy to pull it off, so I kind of laughed at her failure. Suzu's new move she busted out in this match, as she does seemingly every match these days, was a freaking feliner. So busting out the three-time karate champion homage, huge pop from me, if you're well aware of the Nitro segment on this show. But yeah, little too low on the connection, more chest level, so in turn, maybe she can improve that feliner. And then, speaking of in turn of events, Totoro rips Suzu to the outside and ties her up in the guardrail, right? With the jump rope, getting Suzu counted out. So that was a big shock to me. I thought she was one of the favorites to win this whole thing. But really funny as Totoro and Maya battles in the ring, Suzu remains tied up the entire time in this guardrail, despite all the wrestlers and commentators in the vicinity. They just leave her there, so it was hysterical hearing her scream in anger. Just nobody's helping her. But naturally, Maya gets the best of Totoro, combos her out, ending with the flipping senton. Post-match, Maya walks by a still tied up and distraught Suzu, unable to get at Maya. She's kicking and screaming. Maya even heads over to the commentary post-match and just laughs at her as she walks by, and she's doing the post-commentary promo gig, and you can hear Suzu kicking and screaming in the background, and Maya's just cracking up. You know, but it's like that cocky laugh at her. So, in many ways, this was brilliant and sensible booking all around. So our Juku title finals is the Infinity Champion, Maya Yukihi, versus Sexy Dynamite, Hamuko Toshi. That's sure a match, isn't it? Not how I would have booked it. Let's put it that way. It's definitely been a journey getting to it. I can't say it hasn't been entertaining. There's been good matches. Maya should definitely win to add to her collection of belts that she's amassed over the last 18 months. All right. So yeah, I can't remember or understand that if it's going to be a pay-per-view match on Nico Pro, if it's going on Nico Pro, is it going to be delay on Ice Ribbon's Nico Pro channel? Or I'm pretty sure it's not going to be on YouTube. I think they made that clear. I guess we'll find out. Let's move on to, well, I guess the Puro, which is DDT. Let's play the fucking DDT drop I made.
Get ready. Go. Get down.
Yeah. DDT Pro, boys. Let's go. DDT TV number 3 from May 16th. I got a lot to say over this particular show, because a lot happened. Challenge sword holder Higuchi defeats Keigo Nakamura in an enhancement match, winning via the Canadian Backbreakers submission. I love that move. Honda versus Dino, Iron heavy metal title in the Tokyo Joshi Pro dojo ring. Soft piano music was playing to start us off and is cut off by bells each time a nut shot is made. So yes, it was a kick in the dick match. Then the piano music is replaced with a laugh track, of all things, and audience reactions in sitcom style, which was kind of strange. I should have counted how many times they hit each other in the balls, so it goes to a no contest as both guys are down and out because of the nut shots. The ref says a one-liner, "See you next week, folks," kind of deal. Luckily, I can say... no, I can't say that. Mad Pauly and Soma Takao versus Hiroshima and Yoshimura. Pretty standard stuff here. Yoshimura pins Mad Pauly with a pile driver. Moving on there. I noticed the undercard of DDT doesn't quite excite me as much. Hardcore match, Shunma Katsumata versus Yoshihiko. So this is still building off the all-out faction taking on Yoshihiko, seemingly one at a time. Shunma comes out cosplaying in his Joker best. It's a quite good one, I'll admit. Face paint, suspenders, the whole shebang. Face paint. Jesus. Suspenders, the whole shebang for his cosplay. So notable bumps that were taken. Running Bulldog on the long stretcher table outside. Frankensteiner from the top to a pile of chairs outside. Tilt-a-whirl ref bump taking out Takashita, whom interfered. Canadian Destroyer on Legos. Yoshihiko puts away another member of All Out. There's only one left. Next week is Takashita. This is actually a very entertaining match. I'm fascinated with how great Yoshihiko is able to carry these indie jobbers at times. Jun Akiyama returns to DDT. He partners with Keisuke Ishii versus Mizuki Watase and Hideki Okatani. Cool to see Akiyama in a ring, always is. Here it's Young Lion, Yuji Nagata treatment. Akiyama battles the shit. Bullies the shit out of these two guys with Ishii to take over for a bit in between. Okatani taps to Jun's Boston Crab, then Mizuki tries to pick a fight with him, of all things. Even calls him out to a single match. I don't know. Mizuki tried to look tough, but he botched way too many spots for my liking. Because I like a rough match. I really do. It makes it seem more real. This one just didn't look good at all. Yeah, most notably the drop kick to the head post match. It just he missed completely, and Akiyama didn't sell it because the fucking dude missed. So yeah, awful. I actually quite dislike this. Besides seeing Akiyama beat the shit out of some young boys. So building off last week's punking from Saori, we get Saki Akai tries some sort of saving face match here, but will it work? Well, I wasn't sure how much weight Akai was going to pull in this match, and even though, yes, it was very rough around the edges, this is a case where rough worked. This turned out way better than my expectations. Saori played an amazing bully, ranging from cocky to smiling when she was convinced this all-legs idol woman was down and out. Saori used chairs to take advantage, while Akai consistently used her legs to her advantage, which, hey, you got those long legs, fucking use them. I actually agree with this tactic. I never felt Akai tried things that weren't out of her ability, which made her seem like it was a better match and more for her. It all built to Saori hitting the big Germans, but was unable to hit her bridges to follow through due to how tall Akai is. At least that's how the ring psychology came off to me. So nice little story to Akai overcoming the bully, hitting those big Yakuza kicks that she has. She actually connected this time, or at least appeared that way. They looked good, as opposed to the tag match from the previous week. Finish off Saori with the Sukadora of all things, so everyone's got a fucking Sukadora, I guess. This gets a nice little thumbs up here from me. Still, so all Sakis are evil. Spread the word. Damnation, Daisuke Sasaki and Endo versus the all-out members of Takashita and Akito. So naturally, this was the Endo show versus All Out in his never-ending generational feud against Takashita. Everything was filled with lots of action, transitions, plenty entertaining. I even enjoyed the reversal of a sharpshooter into a roll-up from Endo on Akito for the win. This was a good little okay sign from me. And because he pinned Akito, Endo wins the lineal gauntlet in the process. Very fun, solid stuff here. Post-match, Endo calls out Higuchi for a winner-take-all match right now. Wants Higuchi's challenge sword. Higuchi, without boots on, comes out, so he looks like a straight-up Yakuza out of the sauna, right? He accepts, and they do battle. And that's what this felt like. Putting the other guy down for good was the goal. Endo brainbuster to Higuchi on an apron, which was absolutely insane. That turned the tide of battle, and from there, it was all Higuchi trying to find the power to fight back, and even tried to take Endo to the ground, but Endo, just the speed proved too much for Higuchi. Endo hits the final combos, finishes it with the shooting star to win the challenge sword. Well, hot damn, that was unexpected. Awesome, gives me incentive for checking out future DDT shows. It gets a big thumbs up with being interesting and sporadic and must-see. But at the same time, I've seen Endo in the main event, even in my casual DDT watching. I was really looking forward to that Higuchi Tanaka showdown. Yakuza versus 1999 Yakuza kind of situation. And that moves on to DDT TV number 4, May 23rd. Dino Honda Part 2, Iron Man, blah, blah, blah. Honda does his stick. There's storytelling, hypnotism involved. He's unable to wake the two guys up. They're coming for Dino. And Honda's story continues. This match went to a no contest for what that's worth. And Dino wakes up. It was all a dream, or was it? Ooh, I hated this. It made no sense. The language barrier was all there. I can only handle Antonio Honda for so long. He has his moments, but overall, I just don't think he's funny. All Out Team, Akito and Ino versus Higuchi and Naya. The finish was good. Higuchi chop battle versus All Out until a miscommunication cost them the match. Figure 4 tap out victory of Akito over Naya, as it should be. Naya is very, very green. He's got some size to him for what it's worth. Such a shame she and Higuchi lose that main event and immediately slotted into this kind of placement. I think this sucked. It was a waste. I thought Higuchi should be more rough and wanting to be out for blood since he just lost his big title shot, right? He didn't do any of that. Jun Akiyama versus Watase built off the previous week's trial of nonsense versus him. Watase at least does a jumping knee to start the match hot, so big note to that. That was a big thumbs up. But besides that, it was basically just Akiyama bullying this poor kid, Watase trying to fight back and show fire, but to no avail. I'm usually into a bully match. That I loved watching Nagata beat up Young Lions. I was really hoping for something like this, but it just didn't work. I think it's Watase just not being there. He's not. His fire just doesn't come across right. But I understand the point. It's they're trying to get Jun Akiyama's rub off on a young guy that they can kind of push a little bit higher up the card. Universal title 3-way match, Sasaki, Brooks, Yoshimura all against each other. It was supposed to be a 4-way, but Mao suffered an ankle injury prior, so they're just playing it safe with him, from what I read. So he's just out of the match for the time being. The match itself was very rough. It's a messy 3-way. I think it's 3 weeks in a row where I've seen a triple threat match in DDT, and I don't know what it is, but they do not have a formula down for how to put a match together for 3-ways. Dragon Gate, AEW, they do triple threats quite well, I feel, or at least when 3 people are in the ring at a time. This just doesn't work, but anyways. Brooks and Yoshimura strangely had a couple good 1v1s. I like the little chop battle for what that's worth. As for the finish, I have been long over. I'm done with the heel toss-out win. I hate it. It's overdone. I see it in like every fucking 3-way these days, it seems. That's what happened here. Brooks gets tossed after hitting the praying mantis bomb, and Sasaki wins. He just pins the guy. So uber lame. Sasaki says Brooks can't challenge anymore. Calls out Shunma for a hardcore match because he thinks he's weak. Isami comes out and wants the title. So another 3-way made after a scuffle. Not into it. Takeshita versus Yoshihiko in Battle of the Century. Yes, the all-out conclusion against Yoshihiko. Glorious match. Glorious, glorious stuff. Takeshita put on a wrestling clinic. His all-out boys all got involved. It had all the shenanigans you want after after Yoshihiko putting all these dudes away. And then, to the rescue, the lights go out. Akihiro, it's another blow-up doll, comes to the rescue, takes out All Out. Evens the odds. Takeshita does the whole turnaround. Oh god, 2 blow-up dolls in my face. Don't hurt me. You guys are gods. And they do a double Canadian Destroyer on the guy. And then Yoshihiko pulls him up for a 2 count like he's the fucking Undertaker beating some ass. Hits one last Tilt-A-Whirl Dragon Rana to pin. Another best bout in the record books for Takeshita and Yoshihiko each. And then, main event, Harashima and Tanaka taking on Endo and Soma Takao. Damnation. Good preview style tag. Lots of solid action. Tanaka pins Soma. Everyone looked great. No complaints to the match itself. It just didn't quite build anything with Endo and Tanaka. And it seemed like post-match they were going to cut a promo on each other. Endo grabbed the mic, but then fucking Aoki comes out. And he uses the gauntlet. If we're going by lineal rules, Endo has it, but he doesn't. Aoki's, I guess because he lost last week, he's afraid someone might challenge him for the gauntlet soon, and he's going to lose it. So he comes out and he challenges for the belt over the challenge sword from Endo. It's a bad arm work here for Aoki on Tanaka. It did get better in the match for what it's worth, but I couldn't get into this because Aoki's challenging. I don't believe for 1 second he was going to win this thing, and I'm simply not a fan of his. And he loses via the sliding D anyways after all that arm work, so... I think TV show 4 here was definitely the weakest out of the 4 shows I've seen so far, or that they put out. And that will take us into their announcement of Wrestle Peter Pan 2020, June 6th and 7th. They do have the triple threat match for day 1 announced. It is a 2-day event, too big for one night. It's Sasaki, Kodaka, and Shunma, all for the Universal title. And then day 2 is the Tanaka-Endo title match. So, regardless, I wanted Higuchi in that title match, very much so. I'm still looking forward to Endo versus Tanaka, because I love watching Endo. So. God damn, this grapefruit is good. Ruby grapefruit. I don't think it's good as that passion fruit truly, though. Alright, so let's move along to Dragon Gate.
Dragon
Alright, so I gotta say, this King of Gate tournament, I was excited when it was announced. I was excited for the block tournament style, 3 blocks, and the each block winner gets into a semifinal matchup, and there's a last chance battle royal that's going to happen for that 4th guy. I did a big prediction thing, and I went all in with Dragon Kid. For Block A, I went all in with RED Interference, costing people matches, including Yamato and BB Hulk. And none of that happened. But all the other aspects of my prediction has turned out true. So, yeah, mostly anyways. They aren't in their usual empty arena dojo here for the past shows, but rather this awful empty classroom type setting It's really small with hardwood floors. It comes off as very low rent to me, but the saving grace at the very least is the very, very good camera work, keeping the shots extremely tight and wrestler focused. But there's no atmosphere. I hate this. I'm gonna make this comparison. This is like WWE. It's just, now I like the style a lot more, so at least I have that going for. Dragon Gate has that going for it, but the zero atmosphere, nobody's ringside. Eventually, after like 3 nights of it or 4 nights of it, some seconds and thirds started coming out and cheering ringside, so that added a little bit of something. But man, this is rough. There's just not a lot to talk about here. So night 1, A block, it starts out horribly with Hio DQing himself with a turnbuckle pad on KZ after at least KZ came out rapping. That was kind of cool, but dear God, that was stupid. So KZ moves on because Hio's a dumbass. Yamato defeats Ryo Saito. Ryo Saito looked good. It was solid. Dragon Kid and Diamante had a good match. They were able to reach kind of the investment level, I would say. But yeah, Dragon Kid here became my unlucky kid. So for those that don't know, that's me referencing my Lucky Kid 16 karat gambles I keep taking every year, where it's either Lucky Kid goes on or he doesn't, and I always pick the wrong one. This is Dragon Kid's become my unlucky kid. So yeah, Diamante won with his big rising power bomb to win. I like this match. Santa Maria versus Susumu was good. They both came out of the House of Fire. Santa Maria's knees are heavily taped up, I noticed. That's interesting. During the match, Santa Maria hits a delayed Falcon Arrow, which just looked absolutely disgustingly awesome. The core strength needed to pull that off is awesome, so huge props to her on that. The near fall trades were good, and they did like a little Zack Sabre Jr. Sonata sequence there, so I got one bold pick right, at least in Block A. Night 2, B block, Ishida, Jason Lee. Hey, Kickboy wins over, Brave Gate Champ moves, wins on. He works the leg. It was a solid submission type match. BB Hulk, Okuda, so this was my other bold pick. I was going to think that BB Hulk was going to cost Yamato a match, and then vice versa. Started sloppy. Red Rooster Hulk just beats the hell out of Okuda. It's very, very one-sided. And then just seemingly out of nowhere at the end, 2 chest GTS kicks, and he pins Hulk. So that was weird. So Okuda getting a little push there. Inky Horiguchi Kai, a lot of holds. Solid, I guess. Single leg rolling trap pin to win for Kai. Shimizu, Big R Shimizu against Doi. No shock here. It was short. It was sweet. Didn't overstay its welcome. Big R's losing ways continue as the big champion moves on. I did like the finish of the drop kick combos, and then counters a Big R liner with the rolling catch pin. So yeah, perfect B block prediction here from round 1. Night 3, C block, Kagetora Benkei. Finally, okay, this might have been one of my favorite matches. Benkei is looking big, boys. Dear God, this dude's been pumping iron. His trap muscles are fucking insane. And as for the match, Benkei seems a bit rusty, but hot damn did Kagetora bring it. Because he made this a smooth, interesting, competitive match, even with Benkei looking rusty. This was the first match I didn't notice there weren't any fans here, so I was very much into this. Good finish, dual ropes, Kagetora jumps over the spear, tries a DVD roll style up, but no pin. Then he gets cut in half with the Benkei spear. Good stuff here. Strong Machine J loses to Eita. No shock there, pretty boring. Sakamoto against Mochizuki. This was the best match I have seen out of all 6 nights of King of Gate. Mochizuki, his style, he's just made for the empty arena. The stiff kicks, the focus. And to my surprise, Sakamoto rose to the occasion himself to meet him there. So they molded very well. When I first saw the timestamp of how long this was going to be, I was not enthused. But these two guys made this worth investing. They told the story of battle, plain and simple. Sakamoto simply bested the old Terminator on this day. This one is probably my only match recommendation from here at this point. Dragon Dia pins Yoshida. So again, I'm perfect in this block. I'm perfect in block C. Yoshida's great. Dragon Dia did not look great. He did hit his reptilian Rana as he does. He's been doing that. It felt very flat. All of Dragon Dia's offense just looked weak. It wasn't convincing in this environment. Night 4, Block A, Round 2. So at least for Round 2, Dragon Gate, this is where they started having their teammates in seconds ringside. So the classroom is less of a classroom, just a little bit. KZ Yamato, quite enjoyed this. Started off very offbeat. And simple story is Yamato moves on. Just let's see here. Each guy ran ropes with elbows, both countered out into the Galaria, but that's Yamato's specialty. So KZ fell into Yamato's moves, got hit with it, and lost. So unfortunately, Block A is a total disaster, as there hasn't been that trademark RED finish. And then Diamante Santa Maria. Again, Diamante is surprising me. I mean, I'm very happy that Diamante has moved on in this. I was really thinking Santa Maria was getting that push, or at least some monicum of one. But it told the story of Diamante. You don't try the crucifix bomb on Diamante, because he will power your ass out of that and give you a big power bomb of his own and kick your ass. That's what happened here with Santa Maria. Fell into that same story. That I guess that's the one that's being told. I'm not sure. That's just something I've noticed in the two matches. Night 5, Block B, Round 2. Ishida Okida. So here we go. This is what they've been building to since March, I guess. Starts out with the stare down, like they've been building towards this thing or something. Huh? So this was great. They essentially have this rough, chippy fight, mostly of kicks. Spills the outside with a brawl MMA type style. So this is where Okida's wheelhouse comes in. It's very chippy. It's pretty cool. Gets to this, and the chippiness gets to Okida as he solely wants his hands on Ishida, not necessarily what Ishida wants, because he just wants to win. And all of this, I'm noticing the count is continuing as it goes. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So it built up and felt like they were gonna do a double count out finish or something. Nobody moves on. That leaves the champion or Kai, to move on with a bye situation. What ends up happening is Okada posts Ishida, gets on the apron going for a finishing penalty kick situation, and then he'll just, I guess, walk in the ring or something. Ishida blocks this, throws him off, and slips in the ring before the count out. He smiles at Okada, just the biggest thing. Okada's temper got the better of him yet again. I love this. This is the complete opposite feeling of that Jake Lee, whoever the fuck that was in the Big Japan tournament. Quiet Storm, that's right. Total opposite reaction compared to that match here. This was great. Ishida's smart and devious as ever. And then we move on to Kai and Naruki Doi. Just a, solid affair. The former Wrestle 1 guy against the current Dragon Gate champion. Leg picking from Kai, just like he did in his Triple Crown match against Kento Miyahara last year that I quite enjoyed. Very much kind of a similar offensive take on it all. Dai goes to hit his flapjack sliding kick combo. Went for speed over a full hit. And then Kai quickly counters of how ineffective just going for a half move is. He hits his quick kick combination of moves. That was kind of the story of the match. It would be a single counter. They'd try a combo. Maybe it didn't work the way it did, or it didn't look as great. And then that would lead to the counter of another guy. So A different style type match here, and yet still sticks in that Dragon Gate wheelhouse. Wheelbarrow roll up to pin Kai. Very enjoyable match. Naruki Doi is getting a lot of roll up pins. So good 2 matches here from Block B. Still a perfect block for me. Night 6, round 2, Block C. Benkei Eita. Very interesting match here. This easily could have gone either way. Benkei in control, but reversed by Eita with the classic push the ref into kicking him in the nuts maneuver. And from there, they have a good match. Not as grandiose as their finals from last year, but Eita takes a couple spears, kicks out of the Gun Wrench powerbomb, so this really puts Eita over as, you know, that main event guy. I'm very convinced he's winning this year still. Before getting cut a 3rd time, he super kicks Benkei's head off. Benkei's sell of this was doing the knees down power slide. Just looks like he was decapitated. Eita does a corner super kick. One more super kick for good measure. Just awesome finishing events. Eita moves on. Boom. And then Sakamoto Dragon Dia. So yes, Dragon Dia pulls out another Reptilian Rana win here, beating his 2nd RED member. That's very notable. So now he has a chance for 3 as he takes on Eita in the Block C finals. And if you're keeping track, the other finals in Block A are Yamato versus Diamante, totally wrong. In Block B, Ishida versus Doi, totally correct. So, yeah. And I can't say I'm enthused about the King of Gate tournament. I can't say the matches have been particularly great all around. Interesting and quick and easy to watch. Yes, it definitely is. They're putting it out in single match episodes, kind of like the old Stardom way. Instead of whole shows, you get just the matches. So, you know, with them being 10-12 minutes, skip the intros, maybe even less at times. I just watch it with the morning coffee and do my shit that I want to do, and, you know, that's it. We'll see what the rest of the tournament has to offer. There's just not a lot. There's just not a lot to say about it without the faction involvement, and you have no idea what they're building to. It's just a very dry tournament. So I would say if you're looking to get into Dragon Gate, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take back my recommendation. This is a good time to get into it. This tournament is not going to I just don't see, unless you're starved for wrestling and starved for Puro, I would definitely recommend the DDT TV show over what Dragon Gate has put out here, unless they go back to what they were doing at their previous Empty Arena shows. With that, let's get on to the retro section. All right, let's see here. Oh god, guys. Oh boy. This White Claw is... I'm gonna have another one once I'm done recording here. Oh yeah, definitely. All Japan Women Classics from Puroresu Dream and Samurai TV, episode 21. So just a huge bummer on a side note is the classics, the classics here, the finals of the Japan Grand Prix of Dump versus Nagayo wasn't shown, and I couldn't even find a video on it to know. I just know that June 1987, Nagayo did in fact win the tournament, just as Omori won in 1986 and Lioness Asuka won in 85. Omori notably went on to win the title shortly after that, to my utter disdain. But yes, here we are. This is episode 21, July through October 1987. Just various dates. It was a variety show. We start out with the AJW Championship. Bull Nakano defending against Yumiko Hota. Very, very young Yumiko Hota. This is July 20th, 1987 at the Miyagi Sports Center. Pretty cool seeing Hota go up the card here. You're definitely starting to see her rise. This is kind of like the beginning of the Bull Nakano push, except Hota doesn't have Dump Matsumoto to kill people to and give Bull Nakano a bigger spotlight. But yeah, Nakano in her 80s best pink and black Zubaz entrance gear, complete with headband. It couldn't get more 80s than that. The go-to blows, brawling, and kicking style. Bunch of wacky nunchaku spots and interference. These two thick, strong, legged women then go to kick the shit out of each other. This is exactly what it should have been. And they go to a draw. Both competitors look exhausted. I enjoyed this. All Japan Women Junior Heavyweight title. Kyoko Aso defending against Erika Shishido. This is from Cork and Hall, August 20th, 1987. Boy, you talk about a junior title. Here, this junior comes off as the youngest of the young. True juniors, if you will. Shishido is taped up mummy style. Her shoulder, her arm, both legs. She's hurting. The match itself is very rough. Shishido is not good. Obviously really hurt here. Luckily, Kyoko Asao really pulled through in trying to make something out of this. Does a few modified neckbreaker moves, gets a shoot pin. So as I do, I tried looking up Asao for some info and literally only found out she debuted in July 1985. Nothing more. Tag League Best 1987. Jumping Bomb Angels versus the Crush Gals. Oh, yes, baby. This took place at Friendship Show in 1987, Omiya Skate Center, September 14th, 1987. So this match was obviously awesome. The difference in star power has reached fever pitch for the Crush Gals. And I noticed one thing as I was watching. The shape these four women in compared to everyone else, including the young up-and-coming ones, is night and day. The muscles, and specifically the legs, are incredibly toned out. The cardio and endurance is noticeable as well, because they do not stop. Interesting enough, Crush Gals and a lot of Nagayo just on her own just pummel the Angels here. But all it took was one mistake as Yamazaki ducks a double clothesline, the Crush Gals collide, Angels double team, double rope front drop kicks, top rope front drop kicks. One does a diving headbutt on Nagayo while the other splashes, and they get the pin. I love this booking. This was great. One mistake could cost you the match. It works in the story. A shocking result, and the Crush Gals are shocked themselves and disappointed. Very, very, very good stuff here. And again, I love watching Itsuki Yamazaki in the ring. We continue with the Tag League The Best, 87. Red Typhoons versus Dump Matsumoto and Megumi Nakame. October 11th, 1987 this was. This was strange. Dump just had a straight match. She's got a new partner I've never seen before. Megumi took most of the match. She is pretty fat and ugly, to say the least. I mean that with all the respect in the world. And she's very green. So the Typhoons basically did the basic work throughout. They do a comeback at the end with dual suicide dives the outside, but one of the Typhoons gets totally caught in the ropes and collapses on the apron. So big botch there. Like 5 members of Dome then swarm her, beat her up, dumps on the outside on the other side of the ring with the other Typhoon. Just chucks her over the announce table into the commentators, and then the ref just counts them both out. Or the match is thrown out. I'm not really sure, but either way, this kind of sucked. Usually love Dump Matsumoto matches. Very disappointed here. And then we got the Tag League The Best 87 final. Crush Gals versus Bull Nakano and Condor Saito. I like this combo. Now I'm kind of shocked that the Jumping Bomb Angels, with their big Crush Gals victory, didn't get to the final, but apparently that was the story of this particular tag league was, could the Jumping Bomb Angels eclipse the Crush Gals? And they just got beaten in the end. They came up just a bit short, and the Crush Gals fought back to get to this point. So the bell rings, a quick slap from Bull on Asuka, and bam! German suplex pin for the first fall. Really got a holy shit moment there. Even the crowd was shocked. So shocking and possibly hurt Asuka was leaving Nagayo basically alone to take on this little evil faction here. I do wonder what happened to the Angels specifically in the tournament. But what ends up happening here is Nagayo slaps the sense back into Asuka, and they roll over Dome with high-low clotheslines, similar to what you'd see out of the Red Dragons in Ring of Honor NXT fame. Yeah, second fall on Condor. Nakano proceeds after this to beat the living shit out of the ref. Chucks him over the top rope even, so that looked like it sucked. I mean, this ref gets launched. He goes head first into the guard railing too when he lands. He ends up getting escorted to the back. Then this crowd exploded in unison chanting, even more so for the Crush Gals, and especially Nagayo. It was deafening. Nakano makes a comeback on Nagayo with a ducking heel kick. No, I'm sorry. Jesus. Nakano makes a comeback by ducking a heel kick from Nagayo. She hits the ropes, following with a massive Yakuza kick to the chest, and then she gets on the middle rope, like in the mid-ring, and does a leaping Yakuza kick for a near fall, and all I could think was, that was awesome, but don't break your leg like Sid Vicious. Asuka eventually turns the tides, puts Nakano in the single leg crab, and I can only assume she taps or the ref simply calls for the bell, because the video just fucking cut and ends at Nakano's agonizing face. I looked it up. Indeed, the Crush Gals win. It fucking sucked. I didn't get to see the end in celebration. After all of that tag league I watched on this retro watch. Fuck. I couldn't even find the ending on YouTube. I was so disappointed. Yeah, good show. Not the best show, but it was good. Let's move on to New Japan. My fucking Liger drop. Can't believe I didn't see that ending. Ugh. It's awkward. I always gotta take my notes and then I can take a drink. Okay. 2 more segments left on this podcast. Here we go. Let's see. New Japan through the 90s. We have reached 1992. So we're already 1990, 91. 2 years through this thing. January 4th, Tokyo Dome, 1992. First match here. Black Cat versus Hiroyoshi Yamamoto. So this was not a joint Starrcade show this time around. Was WCW going through a booker change at this time? I'm not sure. But this is coming off the heels of the G1, building towards the new generation officially taking over, and this is the year that I believe it does happen in terms of history. New Japan is doing great numbers for their attendance ratings, but it's still behind what All Japan is doing here. So they're trying to find a groove and their next big stars to take on the competition of what's going on with Misawa and company over there. But yes, Yamamoto versus Black Cat starts abruptly. It's a big Young Lion enhancement match. Yamamoto gets some offense in, kicks out of a mid-rope senton. Audience applause. Black Cat beats him down and pins him off a mid-rope DDT. Simple enough, I guess. So even though it wasn't a joint Starrcade show, lots of WCW stars were on this show. And but they were up further the card. Second match is Kanetaro Hoshino and Kengo Kimura versus Kuniaki Kobayashi and Osamu Kido. Again, this match seems to start like a minute in, so this is a pattern here. A simple undercard, old school 80s tag match. Your back and forth tag builds to the rolling near fall finishes. Kido and Kobayashi win after a roll through single leg off an armbar to win just before a pin breakup. So that's very, very it's not uncommon. In fact, it's very common in the 80s and 90s, especially in Japan, where you'll see a lot of pins. With the men, I must say, because the women have the shoot pin situations. The men, you'll see guys like just not break up pins on a 3 count and they'll lose, or you'll see the guy kick out like just after the 3 has just hit the mat. You see a lot of that, and that's kind of what we saw here. Third match is a tag team match. Akira and Masashi Aoyagi taking on Liger. I'm sorry. Oh my god. It's a trios match. Akira, Aoyagi, and Liger versus Honaga, Saito, and Super Strong Machine. So the evil blonde team, or whatever the fuck they were called. Not the Hollywood Blondes. But yes, oh my god, it's Super Strong Machine. Thank the wrestling gods he's here. This is the third straight match where it starts like a minute in. I'm getting pissed. I don't know what's going on here in the archives. But this one started fucking halfway through. So Akira has half his face paint mask. I'm flustered. Akira's face paint is like half gone already. So I see like the second half where everyone is breaking down, tagging in and out. I couldn't get into the rhythm because, well, I started halfway through. I guess it was fine. The moves were cool. It's an undercard 6-man tag in New Japan. You've seen it 1,000 times. Akira pins Saito with a dragon suplex. Wish I saw the whole thing. Fourth match is the team Shin Nihon and Company versus WCW. That would be Ohara and Koshinaka taking on Larry Zbyszko and Arn Anderson. So yes, this is when Zbyszko was part of the Four Horsemen gig. But yeah, finally a match starts at the fucking beginning. I was like aghast that it worked. I was just like, alright, I guess I'm not seeing all matches anymore. I was cursed after the All Japan Women finish. So, if you just watch Arn and Zbyszko work, this was interesting. Because of all the little things they would do in the ring, the heel tactics, very classic. But other than that, it was very boring. You know, it was a Horseman isolated worked, one short, hot comeback from Shiro, and it just ends off a beautiful Arn spinebuster. Whatever. Don't recommend. We get another Shin Nihon and Company versus WCW match here. It is Kim Duke and Masa Saito versus Dusty Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes Jr. Not Dustin Rhodes, not Gold Dust. Dusty Rhodes Jr. Yeah, Dustin Rhodes is here. Think about that one. This is 1992. So looking at this and then looking at the current Cody Rhodes, it's just, holy crap, the family resemblance is uncanny. So yes, match starts, and Jesus, Dustin and Kim Duke had some miscommunications and mistimings. Running, drop downs were all out of whack. Even the audience laughed. I laughed. And then it happens again on the next set of moves. But this time it was on Kim Duke only. It was definitely only on him. It made me realize Kim Duke has no idea what the hell he's doing in there. Had to be. It had to be. I can't imagine it being that bad. And then they tag out, and we get Dusty Rhodes versus Masa Saito. And this becomes a charismatic showcase of wrestling brilliance. Shake, rattles, rolls, cocky poses, overselling. And it wasn't just Dusty doing it. Masa Saito was right there with him. It was great. My Moses, this was amazing. But unfortunately, this was a tag match, and they had the tag out, including Tim Duke. He had the tag in. This dude is slow, looks utterly confused the entire time. I don't know what to make of this other than, please, Dustin, be the natural and carry this dude. He couldn't do it. Saito and Dusty get one more go at it, very short-lived, I was sad. He tagged to Kim Duke, and it simply ends on a Dustin Bulldog. Gotta say, finishes on this show, not inspiring. These old school finishes. It's the whole show like this, too. Special power match. We're at match number 6. I have to go through these, or I'd never get through this podcast. Power special match. Scott Norton versus Tony Halm. Oh, this is a long show, and I'm only halfway through. Big bad former boxer gimmick, now done with it after his loss to Hashimoto. Now he's on to his next challenge. It's Big Flash Norton here. Boy. Both coming off their match feuds with Vader, and this is somehow super fun. It's two big trucks punching and powerlifting each other. I gotta say, the boxer stick from Halm, I wasn't feeling it. But on reflection and how serious New Japan took Halm, this clearly worked for his character in getting Hashimoto over to the next level. So who can truly argue that was the wrong move? And here with Norton's push, this match got the crowd to take them very serious. So the end goals were made despite the kind of shitty gimmick Halm had. But every move mattered here. It impacted the other to try a bigger power move to keep the guy down. Ends with Halm getting hitting a top rope clothesline, and he pins Norton. I was quite shocked on the finish, but Halm is a little bit higher on the card than Norton at this point. Shinya Hashimoto versus Bill Kazmaier. This crowd adores Hashimoto, as do I. But yeah, the story here continues of Hashimoto taking on legit fighting dudes. He's up against former 1980 and multi-time gold medalist powerlifter Bill Kazmaier. So that's who this is. And they have a match that totally works. I keep saying I'm going to fucking skip these, and then I'm like, it's like 6 minutes or whatever. Why not? This strongman is all muscle, as a strongman should be. And it's up to Shinya to poke, prod, and break the armor of this huge dude. Kazmaier bullies Shinya with lifts, bear hugs, all kinds of things that were paced out, which never got boring, actually. Built up to the Shinya finish. Sure enough, Shinya reverses out of the torture rack, hits a big kick to the head after a few more wheel kicks. DDTs. He lands one last running elevated DDT to pin the Muscle Man. Didn't knock my socks off, but I totally get it, and I wasn't bored. And then we have the worst match on the show, I would say. And that is the special match of Big Van Vader and El Gigante. This is your special attraction match. Vader going against the Giant. Fans love some Vader, as he has turned super babyface to the crowd since I want to say it started mid-91. So he's gone from the big evil Gaijin to the loving big Gaijin. But yeah, they run against each other a lot. Vader escapes the brain claw. They get to the outside on the ramp. And as Vader is making a comeback and he's hitting kidney shots, slapping the eardrums, he splashes Gigante into the ropes, and the ref just calls for the bell for a countout. Crowd boos the shit out of this finish mercifully. Vader tries to save something of it by blinding the eyes of Gigante with the smoke from his big helmet, but this fucking sucked. What a shit finish at the Tokyo Dome. 9th match. Antonio Inoki versus Stephen Hiroshi. Stephen Hiroshi? No. Anyways. No, it's Hiroshi Hase. Stephen Hiroshi. Fuck, cage match. So this is funny in hindsight because it's two politicians facing each other. Lots of oohs and ahs from the crowd. Hase suplexing, countering Inoki here at the start. Inoki seems to get frustrated. Does a shoot choke on Hase. Crowd reacted to that, interesting enough. Hase fighting from underneath. Hase headbutts his way back. Big Inoki comeback after kicking out of a Uranagi, which is the big finisher there. Reverses a third Uranagi attempt. Bam, arm breaker, Enziguri, octopus stretch. Hase reaches the ropes on the first one, but more Enziguris, taps the octopus stretch. Not bad. The crowd's very hot for Inoki, which is no surprise. The Inoki train's still on the track for now. Have a hard... I mean, it's okay. Its place on the card is fine. It's all the star power of Inoki, so I can't say it was bad. But I can't say the match was all that enticing, though it was definitely solidly worked. That makes sense. 10th match, which is a dream match. It's Sting and the Great Muta. So they faced each other last year at the Dome. Now they're tag partners, and they're taking on the frickin' Steiner brothers. By all definition, this was a dream match. Everyone hit their stuff. They GMSI'd up. They got their shit in. Get my shit in. Then the Steiners took over with their power moves, set up a big Sting hot tag, including press slamming Muta into Rick over the top rope. That was crazy. You want to talk about like reverse Hurricane Ranas on an apron? That shit is scary as well. Some dives against the Steiners on the outside. All sets up the Sting roll-up counter on Scott Steiner to pin him a split second before Rick belly-to-belly pins Muta, but they're not the legal guys. So after the Steiners, they thought they won. Fun match. Rick Steiner's an idiot for thinking he was going to get a pin and he's not the legal guy. It didn't occur to me it was under Lucha rules at any point, and all four guys were whatever. Anyways, this was really fun. It gets a big recommendation from me. And then we got the WCW title on the line. It's Lex Luger taking on Masahiro Chono, your G1 Climax winner. G1 Climax winner did not get the main title at the Tokyo Dome. He got the WCW title. And Lex Luger is champion in 92. Think about that one. Chono is so basic savvy. He got a good match out of Luger here somehow. You know me and my feelings about Luger and his matches. Not a fan. One about as simple as you would expect it to be, because Luger only has one mode, and that's power lifts and nothing else. It lasts 15 minutes. To be fair, Luger had flashes of being good in this match. He sold decently well enough for a Chono comeback. Okay. The big moment finally did happen with Luger dodging a top rope shoulder block and followed up with a torture rack. That was cool. They somehow move and spill over the top rope, which made no sense to me, off that torture rack. Chono's leg actually gets caught in the fucking rope, so that's had to hurt him. But then that's when the match reached its peak, because Luger torture racks Chono on the outside, and the crowd is furious at Luger when he drops him and he goes for the count-out victory. So the big disrespect, non-honorable finish. That's a big deal in Japan. Because you always see during Vader's face turn in, again, I want to say mid-91, he was starting to throw dudes back in the ring with the Nortons and the Bigelows of the bunch. But yeah, all right, the big finish here. The crowd wills Chono back into the match. Reversal of a suplex. Chono going for a German, perhaps, but nope. Leg blow by Luger. Then a mid-rope elbow drop to pin Chono. Fucking weak finish. Another minute or so, or leading more into the heel maneuvers, Luger at the end. Hey, damn it. It was almost great. It was so almost there. This just fell so flat. There was no low blow. There was nothing of that. Luger could have totally leaned into all these things, but if I remember, I think he was a babyface at this time in WCW, but he could have been a heel in Japan. Who gives a shit? Anyways. Last match, IWGP title on the line, and the Greatest 18 Club certificate, whatever that is. It's Fujinami against Chosu. the big match of the time. So I thought we were building to one of the Musketeers beating Fujinami here. But in fact, this was the big Riki Chosu crowning again. I believe he hadn't held the title since the Vader loss. But yeah, this was short and sweet. Felt chippy hard. A little too many holds here. I didn't feel like it mattered like the Hase Inoki match. So I will give the Inoki Hase match credit over this one. The Scorpion Deathlock battle, I didn't find all that interesting. It came across as an 18-minute match streamlined into about 11. Everything just felt rushed, which I can imagine the show was crazy long at this point. Beat the hell out of each other, but never reached that next level it needed to get. Just kind of out of nowhere, a high angle suplex, and then Chosu did his 3 big pumping bombers, like how he beat Vader, pins Fujinami. It was just okay. Not very good. It wasn't great. It was fine. So, yes, next up in the archive is a stream of matches from February and March and April of 1992. So we got the variety show. So we're kind of hitting the end of winter and going through spring for 1992. So look forward to that. Not the best dome, I must say. I liked the Starcade thing last year, and I think I would say the 1991 was also better. So let's move on to, I guess. Oh boy. Hooray for Nitro. Hey, beat the music this time with my white claw. Okay. WCW Nitro, November 16th, 1998. The go-home show before World War III. Man, did this come quick, guys? I feel like it came quick. This show takes place from Wichita, Kansas this time around, and I believe, meanwhile, on WWF Raw, they were in Kentucky or Tennessee. They weren't too far away in the geographical grand scheme of things. And this is the night of the big Rock Austin heavyweight title match in the main event. With the a WrestleMania main event on free TV, built with the entire corporation backing Rock. Of course, it ended in DQ, by the way, but the program was so hot it didn't matter. And I'm also mentioned that the Raw show itself was filled with DQs, countouts, and garbage tag matches. But according to past newsletters from this period, the show came across well on television. It came across as exciting, and the programs were hot. So who could argue that, I guess? But back to Nitro. What did they do? Because they're not winning a Monday Night War ever again. And we're going to find out why. So I decided I'm going to finish out 1998 all pissed off. And when I get to 99, I'm going to kind of look at it. I'm going to try to take a different viewpoint on it as a fan. Because there's a lot of behind the scenes work that starts happening around this time now within Turner, within WCW itself. There's a lot of talent going in and out now at this point. I don't think we officially see the Warrior again. I know I seem to say that every cast now, but I think he's gone. So there was $1 million down the drain. I think we'll get some more celebrity appearances because WCW just doesn't know what to do. They got to pop that rating. They don't know how to build a show. Kevin Sullivan as the lead booker just completely loses power to actually make a TV show. So the TV shows are now changed on the fly. They can't do anything coherent. It's all about wanting to pop that rating, right? And of course, it wouldn't be Nitro or WCW without starting with Hulk Hogan and his publicity stunt, running for president, as a bunch of limos pull into the arena as commentary brings us in. This place is absolutely packed and screaming their heads off. It's at least going to be interesting when we start seeing the crowds just flee from Nitro. First match is on a 2-week streak with me for being super fun. Due to Hoovy defeating Mysterio on Thunder, Kidman offered to defend the title tonight against Hoovy before his match with Mysterio at World War III. A fighting champion. A valiant and gallant one. Not the smartest thing to do, but at least there's a bit of a story there. Can't ask for much more. They go out and have a killer match. It did start a bit slow to a dead crowd because Nitro really tries its hardest to make you not care about the cruiserweights. But in the end, they were going nuts for this match. The near falls were all there. They were very dope. Hoovy hits the 450 as the ref is counting 3. Hoovy actually takes his leg and sweeps the arm of Kidman away from grabbing the rope. So I really like that bit of detail at the end. Kidman hands the title over to Hoovy, shakes his hand, thumbs up from me. We get a recap of Judy Bagwell from last week, because, you know, she's the real star of the show. And then cue my main man, Wrath. There's a guy with a sign on the entryway that says Redneck World Order, but redneck is spelled wrong. It's spelled Rednec. That was pretty good. I laughed very hard. And Wrath is facing Raven. Okay, Nitro, I see you. Keep being good. Keep this up. Fingers crossed. I've now officially noticed at Nitro, this show specifically, a large amount of Rock Austin signs are making their presence known in the crowd. So Raven, unfortunately, to everyone's dismay, is continuing his mom can't tell me what to do, and neither can WCW. Kanyon begs him to snap out of it and offers to take his spot and get his shtick in. His words, not mine. Wrath is less than pleased as Raven walks out. Who better than Kanyon? Well, Wrath is, because he just murders this guy. Meltdown finish. And then he, kind of bolts. Crowd popped pretty hard for this. Oh, and then because Kanyon versus Glacier was on next, Glacier comes out, and Glacier's entrance was so good. It's too good for him. Lights go down, blue envelops the stage, quote-unquote snow falls from the scaffolding, just sick, awesome music. I'm like, dude, this guy, how do you spend so much money on this dude and his entrance and his gimmick, and you do fuck all with him? So Glacier gets in the ring, and out of nowhere, Wrath kills him too. I was dying. Another meltdown. I love Wrath way too much. A bit messy with the presentation, but Wrath killing these mid-card fools was absolutely gold material to me. It was so funny seeing this awesome entrance just to immediately die from Wrath. And then we go full WCW. We return from commercial, and they recap Wrath kicking the shit out of these guys during the break. And then Kanyon and Glacier have a match. I'm like, what? Why? So I'm like, okay. Kanyon kind of rolls over, he puts an arm on Glacier, and the ref starts to count 3, and Glacier kicks out. I'm like, oh my god. They fucking would. And then they have your indie match because it's Kanyon. They get their shtick in, as Kanyon said. And yeah, flatliner out of nowhere. Canyon wins. He says he's the king of the world in celebration, so I died laughing for the Wrath stuff, and then I died laughing with tears in my eyes because why in God's name did they have a match anyways? Oh yeah, they gotta fill in 3 hours. So yeah, we are 32 minutes into Nitro, skipping commercials because you don't watch them in this day and age. I am at the very least having a great time. They recapped the Hogan President thing from last week. As I said, I'm having a good time. I skipped the shit immediately. I was not about to have my good time ruined by fucking Hulk Hogan as president. Sonny Ono in a karate outfit comes out to the ring to face El Gringo, the most generic looking dude in a mask, at least what it came across as. And I'm like, I see where this is going. Kaz Hayashi unmasks because I knew who it was. I'm sure anyone who knew Kaz Hayashi knew who it was, but the crowd didn't know who it was because it's Kaz Hayashi in 1998. Ono panics, to his credit. Very great. And then in his panic, he takes the ref. Ernest Miller comes in, kicks Kaz's head off, slaps Sense back at Ono, like, get in there and win. And then Ono wins. They're very happy. They're great. So yeah, I thought, short and sweet. It played another story of making Kaz Hayashi's life a living hell. If you don't care about Kaz Hayashi, this was fucking fantastic because I love what they're doing with Ono and Miller, surprisingly enough. And no, I don't care about Kaz Hayashi, so yeah, beat up the jobber. NWO music hits, and out comes the most C-team NWO ever. It is the same C-team that was on last week. It's Vincent, Stevie Ray, and Horace. And dear God, they even get Pyro. And then the Horseman music hits. Out comes Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, and fucking Mongo. I went, oh my God. Am I going to get a match of this caliber on my TV screen? I'm going to need a stiff drink for this one. Speaking of which, I got a White Claw. So perfect as I talk about this. This is the point where they announce Chris Benoit versus Bret Hart later in the show. Still no idea what the main event is, mind you. And this was as horrible as you can imagine. Basically, Mongo is horrid. Dean Malenko, this poor guy, he must have, pissed in someone's drink accidentally or played a bad joke because he is atrocious. Or not Dean Malenko, but, the match was atrocious. Mongo is, when possibly Horace is the second best dude in the match, you got a problem. Just miscommunication, ugly shit. Mongo just doesn't know what to do at all. And then it goes into full-on overbook mode where Arn attacks Vincent outside. Stevie Ray slapjacks Mongo. Arn gets in the ring with a tire iron. I don't know where he got that. Clears the ring for a DQ finish. It was horrid. And that was the end of the first hour. Commentary informs us, after the commercial break, Arn has been kicked out of the arena and arrested while Mongo is going to the hospital for getting hit with the slapjack. So basically, WCW is now telling us the NWO can do whatever they want while the good guys will get arrested. So figure that logic out. Mean Gene introduces Ric Flair to the ring. So Flair says Arn is actually on his way to jail. I got a little ahead of myself there. Thanks to No Manhood, No Guts Bischoff. At least they explained that. Crazy Ric Flair promo, as you can imagine. And yeah, we were back to building to more Flair and Bischoff. I don't know why they stopped. They could have done it at the previous pay-per-view, but gotta build for Starrcade, I guess, not War Games. Which is on Sunday. Flair calls down Barry Windham to the ring. Former Horseman, if you don't remember your history. I'm like, oh, how about that? Okay, I'm into some Barry Windham. I like the guy. Bischoff says some words to Flair, and then Flair says, quote, BW is gonna tear up your girlfriend tonight. Take Liz downtown. Liz, wherever you are, get ready, because BW is coming to town. And Barry, he's like taken aback. He's like, whoa! And then he looks at the hard cam at the end of it. He tips his hat. He was dying. He was having a good time. I laughed real hard at all this. It's pretty wacky. And then, unfortunately, we had Eddie Guerrero out with his LWO enforcer of no name. He's another match against Mysterio Jr. here, with his awesome rap theme intro music to face him. Again, more recruiting attempts from Eddie to Ray. Eddie offers Ray to join, with the stipulation, if Eddie wins, Ray has to join. If not, he has to leave Ray alone. And Ray's like, sure. And then they had a boring match. I don't know what's going on with Eddie and Ray, but they're not at their best here. Distraction. Hoovy tried to springboard leg drop Eddie, but hits Ray by accident. Eddie frog splashes for the win. Ray must now join the LWO, Latino World Order. Yeah, this was stupid. Back from commercial, commentary tells us Judy Bagwell is in the hospital, randomly. So we get Judy Bagwell in the hospital gown in a hospital bed with the shit up her nose, and she's cutting a promo. And she says Scott Steiner put her there. No reference as to what, where, when, and how. Just Scott Steiner did that. And then she's like, I'm going to do away with Buff. Bring Marcus back. Blah, blah. Like, what is going on, Judy Bagwell? You're better than this. Do better. All while she is in that bed. This was quite bad. Scott Putski versus Chavo Jr. with Pepe in hand. Chavo Pepe. My cat jumps off the table. Chavo and Pepe is horrible. I hate it. It's awful. Chavo's better than this. And this match is quickly interrupted with a Cadillac screaming up into the parking lot. And out storms Bam Bam fucking Bigelow. What in the shit? This dude's a man on the mission. He's screaming for Goldberg. We have no idea exactly why, but fuck it. Let's go. Let's roll with it. It's Bam Bam Bigelow. He's showing up. He's I don't have to see Chavo on a stupid horse. Hell yeah. So he kicks in Goldberg's dressing room door, storms to the ring, powerbombs these two geeks, screams for Goldberg on the mic. He is a loose animal. Commentary is going nuts. It's the Beast from the East. JJ, Dillon, and Bischoff and a whole bunch of security come to the ring to get him out of there. But then Goldberg heads to the ring with his own security, and a big pull-apart happens, and the crowd is just going batshit crazy. I mean, cool. I guess this was the 60 seconds we'll see the champ this week, so I am angry at WCW, how they treat Goldberg and him being champion with these short appearances. The crowd clearly wants more, and he's never there week to week. Not enough. So yeah, we get back from the commercial break, and Bischoff and JJ are arguing backstage, and then they do the whole, you're fired, you can't fire me, I quit, and JJ just leaves. So, random. I guess in the grand scheme of things, JJ's fed up with the NWO and Bischoff, but very random in storytelling. But yeah, On to Saturn versus Conan. Awkwardly, the LWO come out to the ring. Then it's interrupted to the back with Gene and Bischoff. Bischoff says Champion Goldberg has better things to do than Bigelow. Plugs World War III. Mind you, Goldberg has no match this Sunday at World War III. Goldberg busts through his door and screams he wants Bigelow tonight. Terrorizes Bischoff for a yes. Fucking he like pie faces the dude. He makes Bischoff nod his head. That was awesome. So I'm like, cool, but why not make it for the fucking pay-per-view you got Sunday? You have no matches announced. We literally only know the war games in Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. That's it. Anyways. Try and pop that temp rating, boys. No build, no pay-per-view. So back to the ring. Stuff happens without sense. LWO interference, no DQ. Then pulled out beatdown. Then a DQ. Then a brawl, but nobody's fighting. And then Conan calls back Saturn to the ring as he kind of fended off the entire LWO by himself. And then Conan and Saturn brawl. This was bad. This was factually bad. Finally, I'm at the third hour. Pyro time. Did I mention this is the go-home show for the pay-per-view on Sunday? Okay. Happy we know what's going on here, other than a 60-man Battle Royal. Wouldn't know it's pay-per-view Sunday. They hardly mention it, too. So, Halloween Havoc was heavily advertised. They advertised, like, I want to say, at least you knew the top of the card, right? And they plugged the fuck out of that show. War Games? Nah, fuck it. Who cares? Anyways, recap of the Hall-Nash feud. That's been one of the worst things of 1998. And they have another match set for the pay-per-view Sunday. And that's one I could not possibly care for. Steiner, Bagwell, and a personal ref out to the ring with an annoying whistle. They both do their shtick. Holla if you hear me. Talking about banging chicks. You know, Scott Steiner stuff. Apparently, Buff gave Scott permission to beat up Judy Bagwell. Still don't know when, where, and how. We know the why now. And then a fake Scott Steiner mom comes to the ring, and Buff beats her up. Okay. Quickly, Rick comes down. He yells words. I would tell you those words, but I didn't understand anything. And he starts, like, tearing the clothes off the fake mom. And then Scott Norton from behind kicks the shit out of Rick Steiner and beats him up. This was also pretty bad. Factually bad, actually. So, my enjoyment of Nitro lasted about 40 minutes, I would say. Yeah. Go with that. So they mentioned the debut of Bobby Duncombe Jr. in WCW quite a bit on the show. And Heenan says he managed his dad. He's set to face Jericho for the TV title. Duncombe is 6'5", just towers over Jericho. But Jericho is really good at everything he does, and he makes a match out of this. Duncombe's a little overzealous and a little more violent on his moves, but overtakes Jericho. TV champ flees. Count out loss. I can assume this is a match now set for World War III. Or Thunder, and then they don't do anything. I don't know. Look. If you want to push the guy quick and fast, and keep him in that mid-card area, I would say this served its purpose. And yep, here we go. Hogan out with the presidential music, pyro balloons, flags galore, or big flag galore. Hogan says some words. I totally tuned out a lot of it. Then a fake Monica Lewinsky intern comes out, gives Hogan a cigar, calls Bischoff out. Crowd's just dead. Commentary's dead. Everyone hates this. I want to change the channel. Just nonchalantly, Hogan tells Bischoff he's going to pin Goldberg on Sunday. And I just go, I'm sorry? Excuse me? Did Hogan just say he has a title match on Sunday versus Goldberg like yesterday's news? I think he accidentally said that. I don't think that's actually the match. But it's WCW, so who knows? And then Scott Hall shows up for reasons unknown. I have no earthly idea what's going on, nor what the purpose of this is. So to quickly recap the rest of what happens here, as I wrote down in my notes. Bischoff tells Hall to head to the back. Hall punches Bischoff. Hogan beats up Hall. Nash saves Hall. Commentary excited for Nash Hall on Sunday. What the fuck just happened? I'm so lost. You have 2 matches announced for the pay-per-view. The only feud you have built for the pay-per-view is Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash has saved the fucking dude he's feuding with. Where's my White Claw? Okay. My aneurysm will subside. Go away. Alright. Oh, and Bret Hart Benoit is the main event. Oh, wait. Goldberg Bigelow is actually going to happen. I don't know anything. This third hour fell off a cliff in a very hard way. At the very least, Mike Tenay caught the audience up on the Hitman hit list story going on. And Benoit's part in all of it, so he tied things together. Much like I have on this podcast, so thank you, Mike Tenay. You are the man. And now, because of the atrocious Hogan thing, Benoit and Hart wrestles in a ton of confetti. It looks like they're wrestling in garbage. Commentary does confirm, I guess, Bigelow Goldberg for the main event. So, Bret Hart and Benoit, hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but they had a solid match. They're good wrestlers. I know, that's a hot take. Hart tries to escape, grabs a chair. Benoit punches the fucking chair into his face. Goes to hit Hart with the chair. But ref Mickey J stops him like an asshole. Hart low blows Benoit. Chair to Benoit's arm. Malenko for the save. But Hart... but then Malenko is... I guess he had his brain broken. Just trying to do a match with Mongo, Horace, and Stevie Ray because he turned his back on Bret Hart. He gets his ass kicked. And then DDP makes a save to a huge pop. Calls out Hart for World War III U.S. title match. Cuts a good promo. Hey, we actually have a match for a pay-per-view set. Holy shit. Hart versus DDP. Inject that into my veins immediately. I would have liked a longer build, but in the scheme of WCW and how Hart took him out, it's been something of a back burner build for the better part since August. This worked for me. I'm very much for this. There's 2 minutes left in the show on video. Unbelievable. Yeah, exactly what I thought would have happened. Goldberg entrance during the pyro. Bigelow jumps him for the brawl. Nitro goes off the air with the pull apart. Fuck off. So, here we go, boys. Time to guess the card for World War III 1998 based on what we know and what we can gather. I love this game. This is becoming a good thing now on the podcast. So, the for sure advertised matches. These are what they have advertised on the show. I'm really Juventud versus Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title. Kevin Nash versus Scott Hall. DDP versus Bret Hart for the US title. And the World War III Battle Royal match, 3 rings, only Lex Luger announced for it. And then the only guesses I can make is Goldberg Bigelow or Goldberg Hogan, if we take his word. Toss a coin on that one, I suppose. Jericho Duncombe for the TV title. Big maybe, just based on tonight and my familiarity with WCW. Saturn versus Conan, maybe. And then Steiner and Bagwell versus Rick Steiner and Judy Bagwell, tag titles, maybe. Now, that was advertised a week ago, but Judy Bagwell's in the hospital now, so that's a big maybe advertisement match. So, a fun first 40 minutes of Nitro, an atrocious third hour. I would have for sure changed the channel into that third hour. That's when I would have lost it. So there you go. World War III is for the next episode. We'll see how close I am. Oh, actually, I can say this right now. I looked up the card for World War III. I'm not even fucking close. It's quite outstanding. How I can't wait to watch that pay-per-view and just be totally baffled on how they put that fucker together. Okay. So, yeah, I was, man, I'm fucking hot after. This is every podcast. I am just so red hot with fury after I recap a Nitro. Like, All Japan Women, I'm like, great, I'm learning history. New Japan Retro Wrestling. Fucking awesome. Fucking great Muda. Chono's great. I see Big Van Vader kicking ass. And then I get to Nitro, I go, I hate everything. Why do I watch wrestling? It's such a contrast in the retro style. Anyways, I'm going to play the Scott Steiner math promo just to get to the wrestler rankings.
But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beat.
All right. Yeah, I know it cuts out a little bit. So yeah, wrestler rankings. Let's see here. The women. Okay. Bear with me, but hear me out. Number 10, I have Charlotte Flair because she's putting in the work. Her booking sucks. But she's been putting the work in those matches. It's not going unnoticed. I don't watch WWE, but I do pay attention to it and everything she's doing. I got to give props to her and herself. She gets 1 point. 9, Penelope Ford. 8, Chris Statlander. 7, Maya Yukihi. 6, Suzu Suzuki. And then from there, it gets to kind of what you would expect. 5, Saki Akai. 4, Tsukushi. 3, Sauriano. So the DDT match, basically. And then 1, 2 is, without question, Nyla Rose at 2, Hikaru Shida at 1. Very straightforward, I feel. That is. And then for the men, this was actually pretty damn hard. Because I knew who my top 6 were easily. And then after that, it was just kind of who left the most lasting impression on me going forward. So 15's Brody Lee. If the build was better, he would probably be higher, because I did like that match. 14, Yoshihiko. 13, Konosuke Takashita. He's been doing great stuff in DDT. 12, Vikingo. 11 is the Lucha Bros, the Phoenix Pentagon combo there. 10 is Jericho. 9, Matt Hardy. The veteran work, what they're doing. 8 is Moxley. He was the big star that came out of it. 7, Higuchi. I gotta give it to Higuchi. He came out honorable. No fucking boots. 6, Mochizuki. One of the best empty arena, just pure matches I've seen. 5, Tetsuya Endo. And then 4, 3, 2, 1 is like Young Gun, you impressed me so much. I'm going to remember your matches for a long time. So 4 is Jungle Boy, 3 Aereo, and then 2, 1 are your heels that won the big match. So 2 is MJF, and 1 is Villano 3 Jr. because of the implications of long term and what that means to his career. Just it elevated him much higher than anyone else of any match of any caliber over the past couple weeks. So I'm going to be paying attention more to Villano 3 Jr. a lot going forward, as much as I do with Vikingo and Laredo Kid and company. So that was episode 58 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. I will be putting out the top 10 rankings through top 25. Top 10 will be on Twitter at BullNJD. Top 25 will go up on the website, redleafretrocast.blogspot.com. You can go find a bunch of other things there. I hope to add more interesting things to it over time whenever I get a little creative and want to just add something for you to listeners. Nice little hub to check out. So yeah, episode 58 is in the works. King or Nothing. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time, everybody.